He will join us at 4 o'clock to walk us into the Easter weekend. Now, what did you do that I didn't do? Vernon comes in here and does exactly what I did twice. He just comes in, bop, 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 and it's on. It's clearly a bigoted machine. Clearly.
One of us had technical time.
Obviously. But we'll talk to Craig Harrison at 4 o'clock, and we'll get you caught up on Artemis 2 as it gets set about a day away from the moon. It's a 4-day trip. They started the, please stand by. I want to get this technology correct. The trans-lunar injection yesterday, where they'll be traveling at speeds in excess of 25,000 miles per hour. Then they'll slingshot around the moon and return to Earth. They're going faster and farther than any man in the history of this planet. And this is all to set up a base for this is the whole Artemis program, just as there was the Gemini program, the Mercury program, the Apollo program, the Space Shuttle program. This is the Artemis program. The beginning was an unmanned Orion capsule. This is the first manned capsule. And like I said, they're going faster and farther than any human being, about 6,000 miles around the moon. And this is to establish Artemis 2 and 3 and 4, which will establish a base on the moon and will begin our deep space, beginning with landing on Mars. Probably not in my lifetime. The base will be established as early as 2028. But the trip to Mars, maybe I'll get a look. Maybe we can do it in 5 to 10 years. I don't know. We'll see. We'll talk about that. And tomorrow, since we won't be here, we'll talk about it today, but tomorrow will be the 58th commemoration of the assassination of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. As I hope all of you know, he was shot April 4th, 1968 on the balcony of the Lorraine Motel in Memphis, Tennessee. It was his second trip to Memphis. He was there to aid sanitation workers who were on strike, trying to get the same pay that white sanitation workers received. Black sanitation workers, there was a clear discrepancy in their pay. And the first march in Memphis went badly. There were some young people at the end of the march that started looting and started acting stupid. And of course, Dr. King and the civil rights movement received the lion's share of the blame. So to prove that we could, in fact, enact civil disobedience and could enact a civil march through Memphis supporting the sanitation workers, Dr. King went back in April. And of course, there's the famous night before. I think we have the audio of his last speech the night before, where he was not expected to speak at a local church. They knew he was in town. They had assembled at the church. Andrew Young ran back to the hotel where Dr. King was having dinner and said, "You got to come speak." And he said, "Andrew, I'm not going anywhere. I'm just sitting down to dinner." And he said, "You don't understand, Dr. King." And he said, "Plus, it's pouring rain." And he said, "That's the point. People are standing in line outside waiting to hear you speak in the rain. It's standing room only. There are people standing in the rain to see you speak." And Dr. King, according to Andrew Young, just kind of looked down and said, "Get my jacket." And he went, and it was the final speech of his life. And as I've always said, and again, we'll hear excerpts from it later on the program, I thought it was the greatest speech he ever gave. And I think it was more than prophetic. I think he knew, I don't think he knew he was going to get shot in 8 hours, but I think he knew he was going to die soon. It's been chronicled. J. Edgar Hoover threatened him with suicide, threatened him with tapes that Robert Kennedy, as the attorney general, allowed the FBI to do, and that was bug King's hotel rooms. That's how we know that he was having sex with some of his parishioners. And J. Edgar Hoover, the head of the FBI at the time, threatened King, told him to commit suicide or that he was going to send the tapes to Coretta, which he eventually did anyway. And so I think when you hear this speech, we can argue it, but there's no question in my mind. His cohorts, his colleagues said to this day, he never, ever, ever spoke of death in a speech. Why would he? Why would he tell his parishioners that? And then all of a sudden, 24 hours, really 8 hours before he shot in the neck, he's talking about death and longevity and how we're going to get to the mountaintop, but he's not going to be there with us. There's nothing you can convince me that he didn't know he was going to die. And then at 5:30, we're going to be KCD. She's a local artist. She's got a couple of things she wants to share with us. And if we have time, Chris and I will take the New York Times quiz. We haven't done that in a long time. But we begin with the F-15E Eagle Hawk that went down. And I'm not even going to mess with this. I'm just going to go straight to the New York Times and tell you what they are reporting. So I get no errors in this. This is too important to screw around with. But according to the New York Times, U.S. forces were searching Friday for an American airman who bailed out of a fighter jet over Iran during the first shoot down of a U.S. warplane by Iran in 5 weeks of war, officials said. A second crew member was found and rescued. Iran's military was also searching for the missing American from the destroyed F-15E Strike Eagle, according to 3 Iranian officials who spoke on the condition of anonymity to discuss military operations. I also heard before I left the house that the Iranians have now tripled the reward for this missing pilot, because this could be a fork in the road in this whole adventure. It really could be. This could be 1979 all over again, because you know what the Iranians are going to do. We've been in this situation before. You remember the USS Pueblo, where the North Koreans captured them. You can remember what they did with John McCain in Vietnam. They'll use this kid. They'll put him up in video. They'll throw it all around the world, and they will threaten Donald Trump that if the bombing doesn't stop, they'll shoot him in the head. And then Donald Trump has a very serious decision to make. This could be this is the worst case scenario. An American in Iranian hands. Now I'm way ahead of where we are right now. They're still searching for this man, but I just wanted to interject that to show you just how much the Iranians want to find this guy before we do. During American rescue efforts, a U.S. UH-60 Black Hawk helicopter was hit by ground fire, but was able to keep flying and escape safely, U.S. and Israeli officials said. Another U.S. warplane, an A-10 Warthog attack plane, crashed at about the same time as the F-15E, and the pilot was safely rescued. They did not say what caused the plane to go down. The Iranian military said its air defense systems hit an A-10. The plane crashed near the Strait of Hormuz. The loss of the jets and the rescue efforts created military and diplomatic challenges for the United States, which would be compounded if the missing American were taken prisoner. President Trump has threatened in recent days to bombard Iran, quote, back to the Stone Ages, end quote. And over the past 24 hours, the United States and Iran have been trading attacks on military and civilian infrastructure in the region. Just days ago, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said Iran's air defenses were so degraded that the United States was sending B-52 bombers over the country, lumbering planes considering highly vulnerable to anti-aircraft systems. This is why you've heard me hammer, you got to play this straight. You got to play this straight. And you're saying, well, what haven't they played straight, Ralph? Well, I don't know about y'all, but somewhere I heard we control their airspace. That we've got lumbering fuel jets refueling our other jets over Iranian airspace. Well, apparently not. The world has found out. You know how hard it is to knock down an F-15? Particularly in the wake of the Secretary of Defense saying, we're refueling over Iranian airspace. So if they can knock down an F-15, they can damn sure knock down a refueling plane or any other plane for that matter. You've got to play this straight. You can't get caught lying in a war. We've been through that. We went through that in Vietnam with the lies that Lyndon Johnson told, the lies that Westmoreland told. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. We're doing so well, blah, 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 blah. And that's why there is still resentment for Vietnam. You cannot lie during a war. You cannot exaggerate during a war. And now we're in one of the toughest spots we've been in a long time, an American citizen in Iranian hands. We have not seen this since I was a junior in high school. It doesn't get much more serious than this. Let's go ahead and take our first break of the day. When we come back, we will obviously pivot greatly at the bottom of the hour with our good friend Rick Bentley. Get in some holy time with Craig Harrison at 4 o'clock. Give us the history of the Holy Week and Easter and its importance for those heathens that don't know. Get you caught up on Artemis 2, day 3 of their 10-day mission. Talk about the last night of the life of Martin Luther King, April 4th, 1968. On a cold night in Memphis, Tennessee. And we're going to meet Casey D, the local artist, in the 5 o'clock hour. And she actually took over, she told me today, the gift shop at the airport as well. I don't know if that moves the needle at all, but we'll meet her coming up in the 5. In the meantime, you're listening to The Ralph Bailey Show on Newstalk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN, and we're streaming live at kernradio.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Coming up on the Monday edition of the Clay Travis and Buck Sexton Show, updates on the Iran war. What's the latest from the White House on all of the kinetic operations over there? We'll discuss that. Plus, another look at where things are going in this midterm cycle. Democrats having issues on crime, having issues with the border, and of course, the strong Trump economy. We'll talk about that and more on Clay and Buck.
Live 9 to noon. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
For the ones who get it done, Grainger offers the professional-grade products you need to get the job done. With fast delivery you can depend on and access to technical product experts ready to help you meet any challenge. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Keep your career moving forward with growth opportunities, great pay and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces. Go to careers.progressive.com and apply today.
Thinking about starting weight loss treatment? GoodRx is here to help. We offer FDA-approved GLP-1 medications prescribed by licensed providers, including the Wegovy tablet, with straightforward pricing and pickup at your local pharmacy or delivery to your door. All from America's #1 prescription app. Go to goodrx.com/weight-loss to get started. GoodRx is not insurance. Cancel anytime. #1 prescription app ranked by a third-party study.
Meet Paul Sheldon's client, Dr. Roland Rodriguez.
Hello, this is Bakersfield General Surgeon Dr. Roland Rodriguez, client and friend of Mr. Paul Sheldon. It is my great pleasure and privilege to relate to all of you my absolute exemplary experience with Team Paul Sheldon. I have also referred a number of my colleagues to Paul Sheldon's office, only to receive the most stellar feedback from my doctor friends regarding the office's expert navigation through the complex maze that is Medicare. And even though Paul Sheldon himself is now facing some temporary health challenges, his longstanding and most experienced and expertly trained team of ladies, Christine, Kelly, and Lynn, continue to masterfully guide the clients through the complicated world of Medicare. You most definitely could not possibly do any better than to reach out to Paul Sheldon several months before turning 65. Thank you.
When Medicare matters, our team has the answers. Team Paul Sheldon.
398-2298.
Gold demand is skyrocketing to record highs. As more Americans rush to preserve their savings, will there be enough gold? I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and I believe physical gold is the only way to truly protect your 401k or IRA savings. Gold offers tangible security that can't be tracked, stolen, or inflated. That's why I strongly advocate for gold IRAs. To learn more, text the word SECURE to 989898 now. Birch Gold Group will send you a free info kit on gold IRAs. Birch Gold is the only gold company I trust, and their thousands of great reviews prove I'm not alone. So don't wait another second. Protect your retirement savings today and see how easy it is to move your IRA or 401k into physical precious metals. Text SECURE to the number 989898 for your free gold IRA info kit. Again, SECURE to 989898.
Message and data rates may apply.
You're listening to The Ralph Bailey Show. Catch me weekday morning 6 to 9 a.m. on First Look with Scott Cox, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Is this the one I sent you?
I don't think you sent me any of them. You just put down her name.
Where is she?
Asher?
This ain't her.
It's probably something here somewhere.
The girl from Ipanema, by the way, for those of you who don't know. I should have just said, I don't know why I don't just send you the damn, because you don't even, it's easier just to send you the, no, this is,
all I was saying. I'm sorry.
it's just easier to send you the whole thing, isn't it?
What do you mean?
Like I got that off of Instagram. I should just send it to you.
Yes, the song. Yeah, send me the song.
Yeah. As opposed to,
I make it so much easier.
I thought that's what I did.
No, you just wrote down the name on the hieroglyphics that I tried to decipher every day.
No, see, look, she's right there. Look, that's what I sent you.
I'm telling you, the only two that I saw were
Look on your
Tom Hanks.
No, look on your deal. Look on your deal. The very last thing I sent you.
Tom Hanks.
No, not according to mine. It says Oh, I didn't hit send.
Big dummy.
I did. Now you got it. I didn't hit send. Damn. I really wanted to hear that too. We'll play it a little bit later. I didn't hit send. It was right there. 842-5376, 842-KER. And the Lakers just got the worst news they could have gotten. Did you see this? Luka went down with a hamstring. The Lakers were, I turned it on, they were down by, I think, 23 in the first quarter, I think 35 in the third quarter, 44 in the third quarter. No, 23 in the first quarter, 35 in the second quarter, 45 in the third quarter, and 46 in the final game. And then on top of that, Luka Doncic, gone. At least for their entire regular season. And it would have been interesting. You listen to Charles Barkley, he says, no, they're not a competitive team. Although he said that a week or two ago before they went on this 15-2 run, before they started beating good teams like Denver. They beat Minnesota. They beat Cleveland, although Cleveland should be a good team, but they're not really. But they beat some notable teams. Now, they got blown out last night while Luka was healthy. So I never really thought that they were going to be a contender. I don't think they have a consistent big man. I don't think they play consistent good defense. I think they play good defense when they want to on occasion. But do they play? Does LeBron play 48 minutes of good defense? No. Does Luka? No. Does even AR? Does Reeves? No. They don't have a middle stopper. Jackson plays well on occasion. They don't have anybody that's consistent. But now, without Luka, the leading scorer in the league, and at least in the conversation, I don't think he was a real contender for MVP, but he was in the conversation. He was certainly top four. You got what's Oklahoma City? SLA, SBC, SLA. Well, what's the child's name?
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Whatever. And you got the Denver, the Jokic, Joker, Ivan Lendl, whatever his name is. And then you got who's the third contender?
Victor Wembanyama.
No. Jaylen Brown, I think. You got Wemby over Jaylen Brown?
Spurs went 22 of 24 at one point.
Yeah, but Jaylen kept the ship afloat when their best player was gone, and they were still number one and number two in the East.
Wemby is averaging numbers right now that rival Kareem, Shaq, and every other major big man in the league.
And he had 44 the other night, but
Wemby.
So you think he's the MVP, period?
Yes. Success of the Spurs this year. Like you mean again, it's brewing that way. Plus, they got to hand this torch off to somebody at some point, and why not to this kid?
Yeah, and he wants it. I heard him in an interview the other day. He wants it. He really wants the MVP. Meantime, if you DVR the Dodger game, turn me down for the next 45 to 2 minutes. I'll give you an opportunity so you don't say, oh, Ralph, you blew it for me. Because the Dodger game started at 10 a.m. this morning. It was a pleasant morning. I got up at 6:30 just to rush the show through. And I was able to kick it and have breakfast and watch the Dodgers because they got off today, Jack. Everybody got healthy today. The Dodgers win, I think it was 13-6 was the final in Washington. starting a big road trip for the club. But what was most important is that just everybody started to hit because the Dodgers are not hitting. Shohei Ohtani went 2 for 5, but on the season he's hitting 217. Kyle Tucker went 3 for 6, but on the season he's hitting 241. Mookie went 2 for 6 with a home run and a couple of RBIs, but he's hitting $179. The only Freddie's hitting 214. Will Smith's hitting 208. Max Muncy's hitting 263. That's decent. The only people hitting on the ball club is Teo Hernandez and Andy Paez. Teo's hitting 320, and Andy Paez is hitting 480. And Alex Freeland, who I told you is not going to be on the club long, he's hitting $182. I told you the other day he was hitting like 260. Now he's hitting $182. And I told you he's not going to be on the club long. He's really not. And the other thing I told you is Teo was in the 7-hole today. They had him in the 4-hole the other day. And I almost came in here and patted myself on the back because I told you at the start of the season, he's not going to be in the 7-hole long. And they put him in the 4 spot. And I almost came back and patted myself on the back. And then they put him back in the 7 spot. Again, you guys know I love Dave Roberts, but I don't always agree with him. And Teo won't be in the 7-hole for very long. He's the only one hitting in 300 other than Andy Paez. Other than Paez and Teo, it's Muncy at 268. Everybody else is around 200. Don't get me wrong. I'm not panicked. These guys know how to hit the baseball, but and we're 5-2 with nobody hitting. And this team seems to be able to win even when we don't hit. Did you know that the Toronto Blue Jays hit 268 in the World Series? What do you think the Dodgers hit?
You guys were underneath that. It was like 200.
204.
Yeah.
We had 204, and we won 4 games out of 7. That's crazy. We had a bunch of home runs today. Shohei got his first. I told you Mookie got 1. Freddie got 1. Kyle Tucker got his first home run. There were 5. What'd I say? Mookie, Shohei, Freddie, Kyle Tucker, and Andy Paez. Andy Paez hit 1 today as well. 5 different Dodgers in a 13-6 rout, coming off a horrible series with the Cleveland Guardians where they took 2 or 3 to end our homestand. But it's a great way to start the road trip. 1-0 and still atop of the National League West. It's a Friday. So one of our favorite guests join us. KGT entertainment reporter Rick Bentley is next.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Good afternoon, sir.
With uncertain news, Peters in Washington, one crew member has been rescued after an American
Better, a little
aircraft
bit of my
was shot
knee.
down in Iran.
Yeah, it moves
That's
around.
according to one U.S. and one
I bought
Israeli
some cherry
official who
juice, though,
both
last
spoke
night.
on condition of anonymity to describe sensitive ongoing military operations. The number of crew on board wasn't immediately known. It would be the first time the U.S. has lost aircraft in Iranian territory during the 5-week war. Separately, Iranian state media reported a U.S. A-10 attack aircraft crashed into the Persian Gulf. The incidents occurred as Iran launched attacks across the Middle East, targeting Gulf energy infrastructure and the Strait of Hormuz. The White House is releasing details of President Trump's 2027 budget, including a $1.5 trillion defense spending request. More at SRNnews.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
I'm Chris Davis. A suspected burglar is dead in Tehachapi, and Kern County deputies say no arrest has been made so far in the case. They say the man forced his way into a house Thursday evening about 6:30 on Alta Vista Avenue near Highway 202 and was met by the homeowner and their gun. That man was mortally wounded and died shortly after deputies got there. The homeowner is cooperating with police. Someone broke into Kern Autism Network on World Autism Day. And though they did not take anything, they did bust the glass out of the place. The folks there are asking for tips to be passed on to police. The Cesar Chavez mural at 18th and L that spanned the height of the building is no more. It was removed Friday morning. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on FM 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Ready to celebrate? Hop into Easter festivities with everything you need at Target. First, get ready for your special occasion with 25% off stylish looks. With spring vibes, vibrant colors, and fresh florals, you'll find outfits that match everyone's style. Then, fill up their baskets with endless joy. From select Easter plushies to fun toys they'll love at 20% off. Don't miss out. Make this Easter unforgettable at Target.
On top of home and auto, Progressive protects your boat, RV, and motorcycle so you can explore the unknown.
Actually, we just take the RV to the scenic campground every year.
Well, maybe you can catch your own dinner on your boat.
Oh, we can actually get pizza delivered.
So what's really going on?
Will you at least try a new topping?
Outstanding.
Honestly,
you know,
probably
I
not.
love the
We
trivia quizzes.
Fine. Just bundle home or auto insurance with your outdoor vehicles with Progressive and stay protected when you go, I guess, where you've gone before. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations.
It's the third annual Autism on the Run, benefiting Hearts Connection. Saturday morning, April 11th at the Park at Riverwalk off Stockdale Highway. You can participate in the family walk, 2K, 5K, or 10K. Sponsorships, vendors, raffle items, and volunteers still needed. All proceeds stay local and help local families. There will be prizes, snacks, drinks, kids on and more. For tickets and info, contact Susan Graham at 661-328-9055. We'll see you there for Autism on the Run.
I'm JR Flores. Catch my show, The JR Show, weekdays at 2 p.m. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
And don't it feel good? It does feel good. It's a beautiful afternoon in Bakersfield. Blue skies, temperatures in the 70s. God, I should be swinging a golf club. I should be swinging a golf club somewhere, someplace.
Would you like to be swinging on a star?
I would like to swing on a
Carrying
star.
moonbeams home in a jar?
Carrying moonbeams home in a jar. And
Broadcasting high in Park, the Empire State Building, this is the Ralph Bailey Music Hour.
Or would you rather?
I can't.
A pig is an animal with a... How are you, sir? Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
And happy Good Friday.
Happy Good Friday. A precursor, Happy Easter.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. Love this time of year.
Yeah, I do too.
I don't my childhood Easters were some of the best times of my life.
Well, that's great to hear.
We'd fly down to Beaufort, South Carolina, and we'd get a villa in Hilton Head because we had family in Savannah, and then we had family across the river in Beaufort. And instead of doing what we used to do when we didn't have a lot of money, was spend a couple of days in Savannah, then drive to Beaufort, spend a couple of days with my dad's side of the family. And then when he started making a little dough, we just got a villa in the center in Hilton Head.
And everybody,
everybody would just stay there. And we would stay up till 3, 4 in the morning cooking and boiling shrimp and crab and just.
Did you guys actually do the boiled eggs, real eggs?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That's
Wasn't that plastic?
No. And my mother makes the best double eggs, little paprika over the top.
Yeah. I'll make some. I'll have to bring some in. That's one of my few things I can cook is
deviled eggs.
Yeah.
Oh, I love deviled eggs.
I could eat a dozen eggs, deviled eggs by myself.
As I could as well.
Yeah.
I'm a big egg guy.
Yeah.
No matter how you make them, poached, scrambled, sunny side, boiled, doesn't matter.
My son's wife had never eaten a deviled egg till she came to my house. And so I made them, and it's like now anytime she's coming for a visit, they go, "Will you be making deviled eggs?" It's like, yes, I will. So
how do you become an adult and never have a deviled egg?
Well, she's Hispanic, and maybe in the Hispanic household they didn't make deviled. I mean, maybe it's all just tacos, and I don't know.
Tamales.
I don't know. I'm not trying to be racist here. I'm just saying she never had one, and I gave it to her. So there we go.
Speaking of something really good, homemade tamales. When I lived in Inglewood, we had this woman that would sit on the corner of Eucalyptus and Centinela and sell a dozen for like $5.
Yeah, so sanitary.
It's crazy.
So sanitary.
Oh yeah, but I ate them up.
Yeah.
Loved them.
What did we care back then?
Little olives in the middle.
But I'm here for entertainment
Yes.
news.
What do you got?
I've brought you a trivia quiz today.
Always love the trivia.
Last week we talked a little bit about the Bachelorette getting canceled before it even got on the air, which made me thinking, well, let's go the other extreme. What are the shows that have been the longest running on television? Okay?
All right.
Now, I'm going to give you some parameters. We're only talking about scripted primetime shows.
Okay.
So you can't include General Hospital or All My
No
Children.
soap operas.
No soap
Okay.
operas. No news night shows like Washington Week or any of the
Meet the
Meet
Press
the
or
Press.
that.
None
Okay.
of that.
All right.
No late night talk show. These are all scripted primetime television shows.
All right.
You needed to, I'm going to get you to try to name the top 10, and I'll give you one big clue. 6 of the top 10 are still on the air.
Ooh.
So they'll still keep climbing up this list.
That will be difficult for me then.
Oh, that's because you don't watch.
I don't watch television.
But I would think I thought about that, but I also thought these shows have been on long enough. If you haven't heard of them, you are living under a rock. I mean,
Okay.
these are it's not like Benji Goes to Class. It's been showing on some
Right.
YouTube channel or something like that. No.
All right. Let me begin with the obvious. You want to just blurt them out?
Yeah.
Gunsmoke.
Okay, that's number 2.
MASH.
Wait. We have to give,
sorry,
give numbers.
Okay.
Gunsmoke had 635 episodes.
How many years is that? Do we know? No, you don't go by years?
Well, that would be 30, some around 30 years.
Yeah. James Arness.
Yeah, I only have episode numbers.
Do you know who James Arness's brother is or was?
I did. It's the Mission Impossible guy, Peter
Graves.
Yeah.
Peter Graves. The pilot on Airplane.
And what's the connection between James Arness and the science fiction movie The Thing?
He was the thing.
He was the Thing. Yeah.
And do you know that movie terrorized me?
It terrorized a
I'm
lot
in
of people.
3rd grade. It's the first motion picture I've ever seen in my life. It cost 25 cents. It was after school at my Catholic school.
Okay.
And I freaked out.
Oh, I can see
And
that.
it caused my dad had to buy me a nightlight.
There we go.
He had to buy me a nightlight.
It did its
I
job.
spent 3 or 4 nights sleeping at the end of their bed.
Okay.
After I saw the thing.
All right, your second guess was MASH.
MASH would have been my second guess.
That's number 38 on the list.
Really?
256 episodes. 38.
All right, so longest episodes. Gunsmoke, The Simpsons.
That's number 1.
Really?
805 episodes and counting.
Wow.
Since it's still on the air, yeah. So you've got 1 and 2. I'm very proud of you. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
And you're
I
2
mean,
out
I
of
got
3.
the most obvious.
Yeah, you got 2 out of the 3 guesses.
You got to give me a genre or something. I have no clue.
Well, the next 4 are dramas.
Long-lasting dramas. The law. What's the thing we were just talking about with Sam Waterston?
Law and Order.
Law and
Law and
Order.
Order, number 5.
Okay.
538 episodes.
All right.
Stay in that. Stay in that.
NCIZLPGQ.
SVU, right?
Yeah.
Law and Order SVU. That's
Yeah.
number 4. Wow. 588 episodes.
Um,
Now you've skipped over number 3. I will give you a clue.
Yes.
Woof.
You got anything, Bernie? Wolf?
Let me give you a better clue. Woof woof.
Scooby Doo? Alf? I don't know. You got anything? Scooby Doo.
Oh, come on! As soon as I say it, you're gonna go.
Woof,
Oh,
woof.
of course.
I got
Lassie?
Lassie.
Lassie?
Number 3.
And how do you know Lassie?
590.
Lassie was up there before you were even born.
Yeah,
I would have never guessed.
Timmy
Lassie.
fell in that well 591 times.
What is it, Lassie? What? Timmy fell in the well? Let's go.
Well, leave him there. He keeps falling in. I'm tired of getting him out. All right.
Lassie, I would have
We've
never
got the
guessed
top
that.
5.
I would have never guessed
Top
Lassie.
5. And then, again, it's been a while. It's
Yeah.
not like it was on last week.
I was never a fan.
All right,
My first dog was named Lassie,
Oh,
and I let it escape.
my first Lassie was named Dog. Isn't that weird?
That is strange. My parents threatened never to get me a dog again until we got little Rusty,
Oh,
and then
did Lassie go to that farm up in New York?
we have no idea where Lassie
That's
went.
where Lassie.
I
ended
left
up.
the gate open, and Lassie was like,
I said, "I'm out of here."
and that's which goes to show you, we weren't treating, I wasn't treating Lassie very well. Because Lassie never came back. It was never found.
Come home, Lassie.
Yeah.
Nuh-uh. No, I'm out of here. Bye-bye.
No, those black folks don't treat me well, boy.
All right, number 6 is another law enforcement show.
Chicago.
Oh, that's so close. It has a C in it.
Um,
And an I. So
you got me.
NCIS.
See, I would have never guessed that. I don't watch these shows.
Number 6. There's just been news report after news report about it hitting its 500th episode. They even killed the only African American character on it.
Well,
with
of course they did.
That's right.
Of course
With
they
the
did.
500th show. He was there for 500 shows.
Then
Okay.
they killed him. Of course they did.
All right. Number 8. We're going to go to the world of medicine.
ER?
ER is number 17 at 331.
So it's a current medicine show?
It's still on the air.
You got anything? I mean,
medical shows aren't my forte, really.
me either. I gave up on medical. Certainly not the pit.
The answer is somewhere
It's too young.
somewhere between the black and white. It's somewhere between black and white.
Oh, Grey's Anatomy.
Grey's Anatomy. There you
That
go.
was a good clue, fast word.
Thank you.
That was a good clue.
463 episodes and counting.
Have you ever seen one episode of Grey's Anatomy?
Actually, I have. Yeah, I watched it.
I've never
There we go.
I've never seen one episode.
All right. The next 2 are not on the air now.
Okay.
One's a comedy. One's a drama.
Seinfeld? Oh, he's got to search for
Yeah,
Seinfeld.
it did not make I only listed any shows that had 250 episodes and above. It did not make that.
An old comedy that lasted forever.
Hey, an old comedy.
Really?
Yeah.
Like what decade?
50s?
Ozzie and Harriet?
Yes.
Really?
435 episodes.
Ozzie and Harriet.
Yeah.
What a horrible show.
I know.
And I watched it.
Because
again, when we were kids, there was only so many things on.
Yeah.
I remember watching Leave It to Beaver and hating it.
Yeah,
because I watched it.
Yeah.
I remember. You know who I hated also that all the kids loved? I hated the Three Stooges.
Oh,
it was
never
on
liked
at like 3:30 in the afternoon. We'd come on and we'd sit there and watch it. And I was like,
those are cruel guys.
This is the poking and I was like, no, you're not the Marx Brothers. Oh.
And number 10.
Yes.
It's a drama.
Give me a clue. Give me a decade.
I think 60s.
Ooh, 60s. 60s drama. Now I should get this.
Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, come on, don't give it away. I was going to get there.
No, you weren't.
I went to high school with Michael Landon's children. I was going to get there. Bonanza, of course.
Number 10.
Got all the way to the 70s.
431 episodes.
My sister was born in the same hospital that Dan Blocker died.
At the same time?
Damn near.
Wow, that's weird.
Damn near the week of. I've told the story. We get
Tales of the unexpected.
My grandparents had to drive us to the hospital from Cerritos, and it took us 3.5 hours to get from Cerritos to Inglewood because she was born at Sentinel Hospital. That's where he died, and we get there, and there are live trucks and cameras all over the hospital. And I turn to my grandfather and I go, "This is all for Tina? This is all for my little sister?"
No, it's for you, Ralph.
Yeah,
Well, that would have been great.
Dan Blocker died of cancer.
Yeah.
All right.
But that's our top 10.
Very impressive.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
Just
I would have never guessed that MASH did make it.
Yeah, it's way down there. Number 11 is a show I did not like at all.
What's that?
My Three Sons.
I kind of dug My Three Sons.
That opening, that animated opening with the shoes.
shoes?
Yeah.
Do you know who the first Uncle Charlie was?
Wait. I should know this one. It was Charlie Weaver.
No, that was who it was.
Okay.
But the original was William Frawley, aka Fred Mertz,
aka Babe Ruth. Wasn't he Babe Ruth? And
no, that was William Bendix.
Same thing.
Yeah, no, William Frawley, Fred Mertz.
Yeah, okay.
But
Yes,
Fred was
oh.
too old and shaky, and he just
Yeah.
couldn't do it.
Yeah, but that was 380 episodes of that.
Wow.
Number 12,
Yes.
Dallas.
Oh, that would have been a good guess. I was a huge Dallas fan.
357.
I was a freshman the year that Who Shot JR was the big deal.
Oh, that was such a
and
big
it was a
deal.
gargantuan
Yeah,
deal.
that was the biggest super media event that they could
Yeah,
have come up with.
that was one of the greatest cliffhangers ever.
Exactly.
Do you remember who did it?
It was it Pamela Sue Martin?
No, it was Bing Crosby's daughter.
Oh, that's right.
Mary Ann Crosby.
Yeah, I knew it was three names, some three name person. Yeah.
From Crosby's second life.
When he was not in Crosby, Stills and Nash.
No, he was two human beings. He had like 4 boys.
All right.
Because I went to high school with one of the boys, one of his original 4 boys, his sons, David Crosby, was on our basketball team, and he was horrible. He was kind of a drunk when he was young, and he beat the crap out of them.
Yeah.
And they all resented him. A couple of them got into show business, but they all resented him. They all wrote books about him. Then he got older, and he married a much younger woman, Kathleen, and then he had a whole different family, and all of those kids were like perfect. Nathaniel won the U.S. Amateur. He was a golfer. Mary Ann became a beautiful actress.
Yeah.
She was JR's girlfriend on Dallas. And the 2 other kids were incredibly successful.
That is amazing.
It is amazing.
You can
The
make that-
difference, that when you're young and you're stupid and you're rich and you're drunk and you're acting crazy, and then when you're in your 40s and your 50s and you're more settled and, it's crazy and how the direction goes.
Yeah, it is amazing.
It is. It really is.
Just continuing, number 13 is a show that's currently on the air, Criminal Minds.
Okay.
354, followed by Knots Landing at 344.
Never watched that, even though I was a Dallas fan. I never watched Knots Landing.
Here's another-
Wasn't Knots Landing a spinoff of Dallas?
Yes. Another blast from the past. At number 15, we have The Danny Thomas Show.
I loved the Danny Thomas Show.
Yeah.
And I'm mad that it's one of the few shows that they don't rerun the way they do Andy Griffith and all those other 60 shows.
One of the over-the-air channels I get does run them on Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
it was a brilliant
and
show.
I'm assuming that this was the Danny Thomas Show / Make Room for Danny.
Yes.
See, that's the same
Yes.
show. It's just,
Yes.
I'm assuming those 340 episodes are both those.
And it was all part of that Sheldon Leonard group of,
Exactly.
of Dick Van Dyke,
Right.
Andy Griffith, the Make Room for Daddy, just all
Petticoat
those.
Junction.
Petticoat Junction, yep. Green Acres, all those shows.
All those shows that when CBS decided they were too rural,
They got rid of them all.
they got rid of them all.
In one swoop.
With huge, a show had those kind of numbers today, they just
Yeah.
keep it for 20 more years.
Green Acres, they got rid of Beverly Hillbillies, they got rid of Petticoat Junction, all the little country bumpkin shows. Like you said, we're killing in the ratings.
Killing in the ratings.
Yeah.
But they were taking a different direction. And that different direction drug them down for years until they decided to get into the CSIs, and that's where they sort of started finding the way back.
Yep.
So speaking of CSI, that's at number 16 with 337 episodes. ER, which you mentioned, is 331.
One of the greatest shows of all time. Really was.
Until The Pit came along. I think The
Yeah.
Pit is better than ER.
Really?
Oh, The Pit is just...
I've yet to see an episode.
It is the best of TV can be.
Really?
You've got to watch The Pit.
Wow. Okay. I have yet to see one episode.
Number 18 is NCIS Los Angeles with 323. Number 19 is Supernatural, 327.
Never heard of it.
That's a WBCW show.
Yeah.
Number 20 is a show I'm sure you never heard of. Is Bob's Burger.
No. You heard of Bob's Burger?
That's an anime.
Yes, and
yeah,
Supernatural.
he would love that. It's his generation.
That's why I asked. I figured you'd seen it.
308. Number 21 is Blue Bloods, followed by Beverly Hills 90210.
Blue Bloods isn't bad. I used to watch that for a little while.
293. Yeah. Chicago Fire comes in at 289, followed by the original Hawaii Five-0 with 282 episodes.
Oh, I just saw a scene on Reels the other night of
Oh,
that. and they showed the opening. The opening, that is one of the best openings ever.
Well, that song is just
and the wave, the huge wave, and the guys in the boat.
Did you see the new
girls?
Did you ever watch the new version?
Not really, no.
They kept that open. I mean,
did they really?
They modernized it. They didn't use the same one, but same music, same sort of wave. So they were smart enough.
Jack Lord, Dan MacArthur.
Yeah.
Who was Dan MacArthur's mother?
She was a soap opera actress.
Oh, no.
No, it's Mary Martin.
Yes.
Yes.
The original Peter Pan.
Original Peter Pan.
Yes.
Right.
Very nicely done.
Thank you.
I cannot stump you.
It took me a minute, so it's the end of the week. I'm tired. Cheers, 275.
Nice. I would have been a good guess, too. I should have guessed that.
King of the Hill, 269.
Not a fan.
Murder, She Wrote, 264.
Never seen one episode.
Followed by Frasier.
Oh, the guy, Ron Mostowski, the sheriff.
Yeah.
I played golf with him up here.
Yeah, he was here. I was at a thrift store one day, and somebody was selling a program from that golf tournament.
Yeah, it was Relay for Life tournament
there's like-
at Seven Oaks.
There's like 20 autographs in there.
Yeah.
And he's one of them that signed the program. I don't know who sold it. I bought it.
It was, I got to play with he and Don Newcomb.
Don Newcomb, yeah. Dandy Don?
Don Newcomb. No,
yeah,
Don Newcomb.
I was thinking the football. So
Don Newcomb.
Yeah, Don Newcomb.
Who told me that when I smiled, I looked like Willie Mays. That's what Don Newcomb said. Because his eyes go slanted like mine when I smile.
Yeah.
That's the only thing, because I don't look anything like Willie Mays.
Yeah.
Nothing like him.
All right, let me finish out this list. 2.5 Men, 262 episodes. The Jack
Big
Benny-
fan of 2.5 Men.
You are?
Until like at the end.
Until they became two men we didn't care about anymore.
He starts to date the girl named Chelsea, who was a really attractive woman.
She's a great looker.
Yeah, and then she goes back to her ex, and she meets this guy, and she leaves Charlie, and I root for Charlie.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of goes downhill.
Yeah.
And then when he left, the Ashton Kutcher part, I have.
He never worked for me.
Ashton Kutcher?
No.
No, me either.
And again, at that point, they were not a half a man anymore. I mean, he was off in the military, and they'd written him out of
it
the show
was crazy.
so much. So.
Yeah.
All right, number 31 is the Jack Benny Show.
I never really watched. That's a little before my time.
261, NYPD Blue.
I
At
never really watched that
261.
either.
Married with Children.
Kind of watched that on
260.
occasion. It was pretty funny.
Murphy Brown.
No, I
260.
wasn't a Murphy Brown fan.
Chicago PD, which is still on, 258.
No.
Followed by MASH, 256. Happy Days, 255. The Jeffersons, 253.
Really?
And rounding out Modern Family at 250 episodes.
The Jeffersons had more episodes than All in the Family?
Yeah.
That is hard to believe.
Yeah.
That really is, because I thought All in the Family went on forever, because it went on.
Remember, it became Archie's Place. And
So they don't count
I
that?
don't think that is.
Okay.
I think that is a complete.
Different show.
It is literally considered a spinoff. That'd be like saying we're going to take Happy Days numbers and add Mork and Mindy,
Right.
because Mork and Mindy was, or Laverne and Shirley. That was a spinoff. If it spins off to another show, you can't count it.
Okay.
But like the Danny Thomas Show, You Make Room for Danny. It was still this. Like, they just changed the name. So
Yeah. Wow. Interesting television history.
I thought that was. I found it fascinating.
I did too. I really
To
did.
look and to know, that in early days they would do 30 episodes.
Right.
So it still took 8 years or 9 years to get to 250. So you had to be on for a while.
Yeah.
Now you're talking about shows doing 15, 16 episodes. I don't think, we've got shows on the air like Chicago PD and Chicago Fire and so forth that could probably still chip up a little bit. But I don't see new shows coming on anytime,
No.
it's like Tracker or the new Matlock or anything like that. I don't see them being able to stay on long enough with enough episodes to get to this sort of hierarchy.
I would love to get inside Hollywood and have a full comprehension on how they determine what stays and what goes.
I've covered it for years. And I cannot, if I can figure out the logic, I'd be a
Yeah.
millionaire.
Yeah.
It's things you feel like, it seems that, and then you get things like Seinfeld, which was it was the last rated show of the season.
Yeah.
They kept it. And it's like with other shows you would have killed, but what did you see in that? And then they brought it back and boom, Cheers the same way.
And I've heard so many stories of so many shows that were on the verge of getting canceled. And they just said, well, let's just change the day. Let's see what happens. And bang, all of a sudden it's out the roof. I mean, I think that was the story of MASH.
Yeah.
I think they had it on like Tuesdays or something. And they moved it to Saturday behind All in the Family.
Right.
And then it exploded, and then they could move it again.
Yeah, once it got established.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think they moved it back actually to Tuesdays.
Yeah. Well, you remember, and I'm not making any judgments. I'm just saying, when the Cosby Show was so hot.
Oh yeah.
That place right after it was where NBC started everything.
Yes.
Again,
Yes.
I'm not condoning Cosby, but I'm just saying that show was so great that you could start in. I think that's where Cheers started. That's where Seinfeld started.
Yeah.
That's where Friends started. I mean, all those shows got this massive boost, especially half-hour programming.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, the other channels are showing hour-long programs. So I'm not going to turn over and see the last half hour of such and such, Murder, She Wrote.
Yeah.
I'll just see what's new here, and then they would stay.
It's called lead-in in our business, and it's important in radio as it is in television. Like your lead-in, you got to hand somebody an audience, and then it's your job. It's my job to then not only to maintain that audience, but to add on to it.
And yet, your show continues to thrive despite having JR as a lead-in. Zing the JR.
Yeah, very nice.
That's me. I know.
Anything going on in Hollywood?
Well, yeah, I'm just not there. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
You know, I saw the new Mario Brothers movie.
Yeah.
If you got kids and you want an 86-minute nap, take the kids, let them watch and have a good time. You'll sleep through the movie.
Well, that's always good to know.
Well, it's sometimes you just getting away for a moment to be, especially in these theaters you can recline the seat. You lay back. As long as you don't snore, you can get through the whole thing. So
I hear there's more trouble with the Jackson picture.
The
Michael Jackson picture.
Yeah, that's coming up later this month.
Yeah.
I'm interested in seeing it.
Yeah.
And again, I've only seen a little snippets, the trailers for it. But I'm wondering how much they're going to go into the full story.
No, the family's doing it, so not much.
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
And so if you don't do that, is it really, can it be considered a decent biopic? I mean, that's like saying, Elvis never got fat.
I think you can actually, and I think it could be successful if you just show the highlights of the guy's career and just kind of ignore his faults. I think you can.
I don't think so. I think
when it's as big as Michael Jackson, I think you can.
I don't think so. I think because he's so big, that's going to be out there. That's going to be that elephant or the bones of the elephant man in the room.
The only reason I don't think so, normally I would agree with you, but the Chris Burdick generation, they don't know the Jackson 5. They don't remember him as like 7 years old wearing a cowboy suit and to show that whole story.
But I bet this generation knows that he was accused of being a pedophile.
Of course they do.
And if that's not in the movie, then don't you feel like even his generation is going to go, well, wait a minute.
No. I think it's a musical. I think it's all about the music.
Well, we'll see.
We will see.
And again, there have been good miniseries.
Rick Bentley, everybody.
This is AM 1180 KERN. Green Acres. This is 96.1 FM. Bakersfield. Online at KERNradio.com.
News this hour from Town Hall on Keith Peters in Washington. 2 U.S. military planes were shot down in separate incidents on Friday, escalating tensions in the ongoing Iran conflict. One fighter jet was shot down in Iran. A U.S. crew member was rescued, but another remains missing. Correspondent John Gambrell reports that prior to word of a rescue, a channel affiliated with Iranian state television was urging Iranians to find the crew.
A local affiliate of Iranian state television in southwest Iran said the pilot bailed out of the aircraft. Now, an anchor on that channel went on air and said that police were searching for this pilot and said that anyone who found the pilot should capture them and they would receive a reward. Earlier, though, they were telling people to shoot at the invaders.
Separately, Iranian state media reported a U.S. A-10 attack aircraft crashed in the Persian Gulf. The incidents occurred as Iran launched attacks across the Middle East. As Cuba faces extreme pressure amidst an oil embargo by the United States, there was a bit of joy for some on Good Friday. Correspondent Lisa Dwyer explained.
Families wrapped their arms around freed loved ones outside Cuban prisons after Cuba's government said it was going to release 2,010 prisoners in what it says is a humanitarian gesture ahead of Holy Week. Those released say they were surprised when they were called name by name and were told they were free to go. 20-year-old Emilio Alejandro Leyva Arias, jailed for robbery, was among those released. His mother cried as she hugged him and says this is how all mothers who are seeing their sons being freed should feel today. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
American employers added a surprisingly strong 178,000 new jobs last month. More at townhall.com.
Progressive knows that boat days can come with unexpected problems.
Dang, I forgot the wakeboard. How am I supposed to enjoy myself without my favorite water activity? I mean, sure, we could still go tubing, fishing, or even just relax on a floaty, but without the wakeboard, what's the point?
If a real problem comes along, your boat's protected 24/7 with Progressive, so you can keep worrying about boater problems. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in D.C. Sight and Sound Films presents Benjamin Franklin, Reverend Whitfield, A Match Made in Heaven, or just a deal made in a print shop. Two voices. My friends, you want to be free. One idea. The Constitution needs to speak to the heart of these people. A new nation.
You are the lightning bolt, George. I am just the lightning rod. And who is the source, then?
A Great Awakening. In theaters this Easter. AGreatAwakening.com for details. Rated PG-13. From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
A man breaks into a house. That man ends up dead. I'm Chris Davis. That man's name has not yet been made public. Kern County deputies say that happened Thursday evening in Tehachapi at a house on Alta Vista Avenue, just to the west of Highway 202. About 6:30, they got a call about a burglary in progress, and by the time they got there, the guy had been shot and was dying. They say the man died at the scene. The homeowner cooperated with them, and so far, no arrests have been made. The name of the person killed has not been released. You will no longer have to see the giant face of Cesar Chavez, once a hero, now considered disgraced, at 18th and L downtown. The owner of the building decided to take down the big mural that's been there since 2019, since some people aren't up to stomaching Chavez after sex abuse accusations. Then this week, someone vandalized the mural, spray painting "Believe Survivors" on it, which sped up the process.
It's a fun course.
Also at 18th and L is some construction that starts Monday and will lead to some closures of both 18th and 19th Streets between L and O, and that will go all the way through Halloween, says the city. They say they will have crews making some improvements to that area, which will require the closures, and they are asking that you be careful while driving through there. Healthcare fraud was the reason 8 Californians were arrested Thursday in a sting that targeted people at hospice centers who were overbilling Medicaid to the tune of about $50 million, say the feds. That was in and around the city of Los Angeles. In some cases, the feds say that the people were not terminally ill and did not qualify for hospice care. One was accused of forging immigration documents to get that money. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN Newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on FM 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
What do you think, this is the Army where you shoot them a mile away? You gotta get up close like this. Bing, you blow their brains all over your nice Ivy League suit.
It's the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Now make sure you leave the house when you make your call. You understand me? You hear me? Call from an outside line. I mean it.
Call in or text to 661-842-KERN. That's 661-842-5376. Listen live at KERNradio.com. Now, the host you've been waiting all day for. Live from the KERN studio, here's Ralph Bailey.
Hour 2 of the broadcast on this Friday, this Good Friday, and a happy Good Friday to you all, and a happy Easter to you as well. Still got lots to do. Coming up about the hour, we'll get you caught up on the progress of Artemis 2. the Orion spacecraft that is flying at speeds in excess of 25,000 miles per hour, going faster and farther than any human being on the planet. 3 Americans, 1 Canadian, 1 African American, and 1 woman. We'll get you caught up on that. It's a 10-day mission, and they have not reached the moon yet, where they'll slingshot around and then head back to Earth, and we'll be splashing down. And I'm pretty sure this is rare, as if my memory serves, most of the splashdowns are like in the Bahamas and the Atlantic, off of Florida. But they're going to be landing right off of San Diego, I am told. Coming up at the 5 o'clock hour, we'll talk about the life of Dr. Martin Luther King, and in specific, tomorrow's date, April 4th, 1968, the 58th commemoration of the assassination of Dr. King on April 4th, 1968, on the balcony of the Lorraine Motel in Memphis, Tennessee. And then at 5:30, we're going to meet Casey D. She's a local artist, and she has recently taken over propriety of the gift shop at the airport. And we got some other miscellaneous news and notes. We got some other audio to get. You'll hear from Reed Weissman, one of the astronauts on Artemis 2. In the meantime, as I'm sure all of you know, it is Holy Week, the most important week in Catholicism, the week of great reverence that chronicles the final 8 days of Jesus' life from Palm Sunday to Easter Sunday. And joining us to discuss this is our very dear friend of the broadcast, Craig Harrison. How are you, Monsignor?
I am good, Ralph. Good to be on your show.
It's always great to hear your voice, and particularly on this Good Friday. A happy Good Friday. What are your plans this Easter weekend?
Well, it's, for us as Christians, this is a really powerful weekend. Yesterday, some friends and I got together and we had a little washing of the feet and prayer service together. And tonight, same group of friends that come in, we're going to pray the Stations of the Cross, which is a Catholic tradition. And I went over today and spent a few minutes at church and with adoration of the cross, which is big part of the Catholic. And I watched the Passion today. So it's kind of a day for me of just kind of focusing. And then Easter, I'll attend an Easter service. It's crazy. Tonight, Saturday night is the Easter Vigil in churches. And the Catholic faith, they'll be baptizing all the new people coming into the church and that, and it's a very beautiful and symbolic service. And then all the services on Easter Sunday, so I'll get together with some friends and we'll go to a service on Sunday, and it's good. I love this time of year.
I do too.
Holy Week.
I do too. Walk us through Jesus' final days.
Yeah.
In Reader's Digest version.
And when you say that, it's funny, I was reading a quote that I really loved. It said, we're here for a short period of time. We observe, we learn, we experience, and we love. And Jesus, in this short amount of time, and even in this short period of Holy Week, he did all of that. And I think it's symbolic for us that we need to do it in our personal lives. That idea that each of us suffers in our lives. I've never met anybody that doesn't suffer and hasn't suffered. And we suffer, and then we get tired of suffering, and we wake up, and then we wake up, and then we rise, and then we kind of go through it again, another experience. So this is what's exciting for me, because it applies to our daily life. It applies to nature right now. Gosh, the flowers are blooming, it's all this resurrection, but it all had to come first through death and death to self. So I just see Jesus as, for me, like setting the path for me of saying, Craig, I went through this. I know what it's like to be betrayed. I know what it's like to have a vision of what I want to do, but I'm going to do the Father's will. And his own suffering, we should all be able to connect in one way or another. Even non-Christians should be able to relate to that suffering and alienation. And then the hope that this isn't it, that we wake up, that there's goodness that comes when we die to self and grow. So I get really excited because even nature yells at me.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm changing.
Right.
And change is good. Nothing ever stays the same.
Yeah.
I was looking at a picture that my sister sent me, and it had us sitting at the table, and we had our Easter outfits on back in the day. I think I was 10. And there's my mom and my dad and my brother and my sisters. And I was like, they're all gone. I have one left. Things have changed, the dynamics, the depth. But I go back to that Easter and I remember all of that. And now I look at life today, and life is so exciting and so challenging and so strong and full. I think we're in the best stage of our life.
Yeah. And I was just talking about that with Rick Bentley, who was our guest earlier, and I was telling him the greatest memories of my life have always been Easter, because it was always a familial time. It was a time during Easter break. My family would go down. My parents would take all of our kids. I had family on one side of the Savannah River in South Carolina in Beaufort, and my mother's side of the family on this other side of the Savannah River in Savannah. So we would all meet in Hilton Head. All the families would come together. It'd be the one time of the year I would see all my cousins, both my grandparents on both sides of my family, and we would crab and fish and just kick it and stay up till 3 o'clock in the morning. It's the only time my parents ever let me stay up after 11 o'clock. The kids would be up till 2, 3 in the morning while the parents were cooking. And it's just some of the greatest memories of my life. It really is, because it was all about family.
And that's the gift that you have of that.
Yeah.
Is that we do. And even though many of those family members aren't with us anymore, the beauty of what family means. And Easter, and I think of families a lot in Easter because I do a lot with people in grief. Even just a friend who died yesterday, Don James, and he's a good man in this community, did a lot of things. And I look at death, and it's like, it's never the same Easter, but how wonderful that we have had and will continue to have more experiences of hope and faith and family, even with the changes, even with the losses. And, I get really excited during this time. I love seeing everybody, get dressed up for Easter.
Yeah.
I love, I got 20 grandkids. None of them want, they're not into Easter egg hunts, but my 12-year-old told me he still wanted one. So we had an Easter egg hunt the other day, just one kid. But I remember the days when they were all right around, and I'm going, good memories, but also, wow, what about today? With everything going on in our world today, how do we bring that hope?
Yeah.
That, that realistic, the joy and all of that. And
yeah.
That's kind of what I feel like I'm about now. I just feel like, helping, doing that. So
yeah.
That's why I also love to listen to the program, because I like the people you have on, because they're positive people.
Right.
Bringing good news.
Yes, I hope so. I hope so.
No, you do. You do. And I give you a lot of credit for that. I missed you the last couple times at KC.
We're talking with Craig Harrison. Will always be Monsignor Craig Harrison to me. You mentioned suffering. I found that an interesting topic, because I believe that maybe my generation, our generation, maybe the prior generation of me or the generation after ours, have kind of let down our children, in as much as our parents, I believe, in our generation, growing up in the 60s and the 70s, made it clear to us that life is a struggle. You are going to struggle. You are going to fail. But successful people get up off the ground, they dust themselves off, and they get back in the ball game. I'm not sure we've taught these generation of kids. And I think that's why we see so much investment in social media and envy and seclusion. We know children aren't getting married. Children aren't having sex. They're not talking to one another. They're inclusive, and because they're so disappointed that somehow, why am I not happy? Why am I not posting pictures on Facebook with me with drinks with umbrellas in them and Cozumel and et cetera, et cetera? Do you see what I'm getting at?
You hit it right on the thing. I was raised in a family, and I had a brother that was very, very ill. He lived in the hospital 6 years as a quadriplegic. And our family, my parents, made us very clear about suffering. Life isn't easy. Life isn't always that way. And I think we've all kind of wanted our kids to have a better life. So I think we just created monsters by not giving them the ability to understand that they're going to suffer.
Yeah.
And they do. And with the drug addiction today and the parent alienation I see, where families, for no reason, they don't speak to each other. They don't do this. I really do. I feel that's the evil
Yeah.
in our world today, because we gotta, when you embrace suffering, you can't avoid it. There's no avoiding it. It's going to hit everyone. People you love are going to die. Jobs change. Everything's always moving.
Yeah.
And so I love that thing about just the 3 words. You suffer, then you awaken, and then you rise. And you're going to go through it again and again until that final time.
Yeah.
When we will suffer our final death, and we will awaken, and we will arise to be with our God. And it's, today I don't like to hold on too tight to anything.
Yeah.
Because I always feel it's right around the corner.
It is.
Disappear.
It really is. It really is. Craig Harrison is our guest. I don't want to keep you too long. I'll leave you with this, and it's kind of controversial. And if you don't want to get into it, I wouldn't mind. But I found myself disagreeing with Pope Leo, which kind of scared me. I kept looking up for the lightning to strike me. Pete Hegseth said something about praying for our troops, and then the media got involved and said, well, do we really want to go there? Are we being hypocritical that we're saying that our God is better than their God? And then Pope Leo jumped in and said, because I think Hegseth said that God is praying for us, and Pope Leo said, no, he's not. No, he's not. He does not hear the prayers of those who wage war. And I thought of Eisenhower's statement before D-Day where he said, God is on our side. And you know what I said? And I swear I went home looking at the heavens that I was going to get struck by lightning. But I said, I'm sorry, I got to disagree with Pope Leo. And if we do get into an argument that our God is better, I'm sorry, I'm going to stand here and say our God is better. If your God says that you should kill all the Americans and all the Israelis, and our God is a loving God, then yes, I'm going to stand here and say our God is a better God. Is that sacrilegious? Is that wrong to say?
No, I don't think you're far off. I just think that this semantics, a lot of it is semantics. The reality to me is God created all of this, and it's his creation. And I think if he does anything, we can pray and tell God what to do, but I think he just cries at the way we have let our world get to where it is today.
Yeah.
And so this thing of I'm going to pray for that and it's going to happen, or God doesn't hear this. I think God hears everything. And so my vision of religion, I think, especially since I left the priesthood and that, has really widened to the fact that, it's our hearts. And you're responsible for you, and I am responsible for me. And I believe that I want to pray for peace in our world. That's what I pray for. And peace sometimes, even in the Bible, was because of wars.
Right.
Was because of things. So that's my take on it. I looked and I go, I understand he's the Holy Father, and I don't speak on behalf of the Catholic Church at all, but I just say in my own mind that, I think we do have what is called just wars. And how many years do we go with being slaughtered and killed and live in fear and this? And if we can straighten this out, God bless. And I would say anytime, God bless our troops. God bless those people that are out there doing and protecting freedom and rights.
Exactly.
And so, sometimes I even disagree with God, but I figure he'll tell me, he'll set me straight.
Right.
But I think that, what do we want in our world today? That what a great thing. If everybody in the world today could say, just pray for peace.
Exactly.
And peace has always led. I'm sorry, the church has led wars. It's part of our history. So I look here and I go, you know what? God bless our men and women over there. Keep them safe. Put an end to this quickly, so that that community in Iran can rebuild and live a normal life. But I think we're on the right track.
Yeah.
I think people are doing so. I'm just glad that you bring up all these kinds of topics because nobody talks about them. So I get excited. I was excited when I saw you called today. I was like, oh, good. Wow. What's he attacking today? I love it.
Well, it's always great to talk to you, Monsignor. Thank you so much for the years, all the advice you've given me over the years with relationships with different people and just advice in life. I cannot thank you enough. It's always great to talk to you, and have a wonderful Easter.
I will, and God knows that's a full-time job taking care of you, Ralph.
Yes, it
I
is.
love it. So God
Yes,
bless
it
you.
is.
Happy Easter.
You too, sir. Take care.
Okay.
All right, we'll see you. Oh, the many times I was in his office at St. Francis. Can you help me, Monsignor? Can you help me? Lori and I went to him for, I guess, dating counseling, because Lori was still technically married. She had moved out. She was living in a different home, but it was taking a while for her divorce to finalize. And I know you guys don't believe this, but I was wrought with guilt. Believe it or not, I was raised a pretty serious Catholic. And despite the fact that I don't show it all the time, it's deep within me. And I was dating a married woman, even if she wasn't living with her husband. And I just thought, I'm going to get hit by a bus one day. This is not right. And we went and saw Monsignor and kind of talked us through it. And some of the best advice I've ever gotten in my life. He's a good man. I love that man. I really, really do. Quick time out. We'll check the board, see what you all are talking about. Coming up at the bottom of the hour, we'll get you caught up on Artemis 2, speeding its way to the moon. In the 5 o'clock hour, tomorrow will be the 58th commemoration of the death of Martin Luther King Jr., who was shot in Memphis, Tennessee, protesting with sanitation workers. I'll give you my thoughts on his life at that point and my somewhat controversial belief of what would have occurred had he survived, had he gone on into the 70s. Might be surprised at my take. And then at 5:30, we're going to meet local artist Casey D. That's all coming up on the Ralph Bailey Show, right here on Newstalk 96.1 and AM 1180, KERN, streaming live at kernradio.com.
News.
Casey.
The next Armstrong and Getty Show, a college student who stopped one of the greatest cyber attacks in world history. Mamdani is crazier than ever. And should we be calling the war with Iran a holy war?
Speaking of the war with Iran, who knows what's going to happen over the next couple of days? We'll have the very latest for you on the next Armstrong and Getty Show.
Weekdays noon to 2 on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
If you were thinking about getting into Casey Steakhouse this Sunday for Easter dinner, there will be no Easter dinner. Thankfully, Cassie has given the girls the night off, but they'll be there on Saturday. That'll be your last opportunity this Easter weekend to get into Casey Steakhouse, or next door at the Stockyard, the Speakeasy-like bar, serving craft cocktails, live music Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night. A young lady by the name of Lottie is in there with an acoustic guitar. Say hi to Haley behind the bar, and you can have dinner in there. And I've told you about the banquet room next door, where you can have election parties on election night, luncheons, birthday celebrations, whatever the festivities may be. You should try to do it at the Stockyard next door to Casey Steakhouse. And again, best steakhouse in Kern County, voted by you all in the Bakersfield Californian poll, and a great variety of food, including the fish dishes, the Ralph Bailey, the chicken breast smothered in a mushroom and spinach creamy sauce. Where would you rather be than at 2515 F Street, KC Steakhouse, longtime sponsors of the Ralph Bailey Show.
The more you listen to your kids, the closer you'll be. So we asked kids, what do you want your parents to hear?
I feel sometimes that I'm not listened to. I would just want you to listen to me more often and evaluate situations with me and lead me towards success.
We're not adults, so just be there and listen. I just want someone to yap to. And I just feel like I'll be fine if someone just hears me talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk.
You're doing a really good job. And I don't think I tell you that enough. And I know sometimes we get into it. It's just hard on both of us. But try to understand me more, and I'll try to do the same.
Listening is a form of love. Find resources to help you support your kids and their emotional well-being at sounditouttogether.org. That's sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Pivotal.
Hey folks, Scott Cox here for King Door Company. I had my garage door installed over 20 years ago and it still works like the day it was installed. So I know all about King Door's quality products, but let's talk service. At King Door Company, it's an obsession. Whether you're having your garage door installed, serviced, or repaired, you can count on King Door Company to do it right. And it all starts with training. All King Door techs have been through the King Door Academy, an on-site training center where technicians study the very latest in garage door technology, so that when they show up at your house, they have all the experience and product knowledge they need to take care of your garage door. They really are the state of the art. And when you pair that expertise with King Door's legendary customer service, you get a service experience that can't be beat. So whether you need a new garage door or just service on an existing door, regardless of who built or installed it, count on the pros at King Door to do the job right. Just call 397-2744 or check them out online at kingdoor.com. King Door Company, the company with the pride of a lion.
The Armstrong and Getty Show, weekdays noon to 2 on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show.
No, not yet. Not until me and Harvey get the rules straightened out. Rules? In a knife fight? No rules. Well, if there ain't gonna be any rules, let's get the fight started. Someone count 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3, go. I was really rooting for you, Butch. Well, thank you, Flatnose.
Paul Newman, Robert Redford, 1969. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. You ever seen the film, Chris Burdick?
I have. It's been some time, but I have seen it.
I saw it when I was 13 years old, and I almost walked out on it. I really did. I didn't see it in 69. I saw it in like 72. They reran it a couple years later, and I saw it at the Marina Del Rey UA Cinema. And if you remember, which I bet you don't, the first 10 minutes, the first scene is Redford, Sundance is playing blackjack with a guy. And Paul Newman is walking around the town, and he sees the bank, and he sees they've got a new vault. And that's why they rob trains instead of vaults. And then he goes to the bar where Redford is playing cards, and the guy accuses him of cheating. And the guy wants to shoot Sundance. And then Redford says, I can't help you, Sundance. And the guy realizes he's going up against the Sundance Kid, and he goes, if I shoot against you, kill me. And he goes, there's a great opportunity, there's a great probability of that. And he lets him leave. And then as he's walking away, he goes, Sundance, are you that good? And he turns around and he shoots the belt off of him, and then he shoots the gun across the room. You remember that scene?
I do, yes.
It was all in black and white, right? If you remember correctly. That's why I almost walked out.
Really?
Because I was like, it's in black and I was like 12. I was like, it's in black and white? I'm not going to watch a black and white movie. Damn. And then I swear, I get up, and then they're driving, they're riding their horses to the hole in the wall hangout.
Uh-huh.
And the color starts to change. And I'm like, wait a minute. It's not black and white. It's not black and white. And I sat down, and then I loved it. It's one of my favorite movies. Quick timeout. Head into the back half of the hour. Get you caught up on Artemis 2. We'll check the board. Don't go anywhere.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. Good Friday is a unique and uniquely solemn day in the Christian calendar. Celebrated the Friday before Easter, it commemorates the crucifixion and death of Jesus. This year it falls on April 3rd today for Catholics and Protestants, and April 10th for Orthodox Christians. Across Christian denominations, worship service on Good Friday is unlike those on most other days. 2 U.S. military planes were shot down in separate incidents on Friday, escalating tensions in the ongoing conflict in Iran. One fighter jet was shot down in Iran. A U.S. crew member was rescued, but another remains missing. Separately, Iranian state media reported a U.S. A-10 attack aircraft crashed into the Persian Gulf. More details at SLNnews.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
I'm Chris Davis. When a man forced his way into a house on Alta Vista Avenue in Tehachapi Thursday evening about 6:30, the homeowner shot and killed that person, say Kern County deputies. They say that happened about 6:30 p.m. No arrests have been made so far, and the homeowner is cooperating with investigators. At 18th and L is some construction going on downtown that starts Monday and will lead to some closures of both 18th and 19th between L and O streets, and that will go all the way through Halloween, says the city. They say they'll have crews making some improvements to that area, which will require the closures, and they're asking you to be careful while driving through there. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN Newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on FM 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
You can't escape a traffic jam. Know what else you can't escape? Seasonal allergies.
Ah! Woo!
And you might think you can avoid that coffee stain until... Oh, really? You can't escape a lot of things in life, but you can escape prediabetes. Prediabetes captures 1 in 3 adults. There are usually no signs of prediabetes. In fact, most people don't even know they have it. But with early diagnosis, you can change the outcome and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Take action by taking the 1-minute risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. You might not be able to escape having this song stuck in your head, but you can escape prediabetes. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org today. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
It's the JR Show.
Here's my thing. I don't need to shake your hand. I don't need to have dinner with you once a month. I don't need to take pictures at whatever function we go to. I don't need to call you my friend. No, what I need for you to do is play by the rules and do your job. At least some of us in this town will still call people out and hold them accountable.
The JR Show, weekdays at 2 p.m. The Clay Travis and Buck Sexton Show, live 9 to noon. Now back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
When God, I love this song. Sweet Lorraine, 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 Lorraine. I just found joy. I'm as happy as a baby boy.
The lyrics are just unbelievable. I mean, just come on. You don't like the lyrics?
Oh, no, I love it.
I don't need sunshine because it's in my baby's smile. I mean, is there any wonder I plagiarized musical songs and gave them to girls? Who could write like that? I can't write like that.
Well, and to be fair, too, at that age, or at least at a younger age, most kids aren't actually listening to the lyrics. They're just listening to the beat of the song.
Of course not. I got popped once. I must have done it 15, 20 times. We're talking about my years in college, in Morehouse College, where I would, it's the only thing I've ever plagiarized in my life, but I would plagiarize love letters to girls. And I would take classic songs like Under My Skin and just classic songs and claim that they were poems. and I finally got popped. I tried. I got too close. I got too deep into the 20th century because I was safe if I went with like, you know, Sinatra in the 40s and the 50s, and that was, you know, I was safe. Very few women at Spelman College were hip to that. But then I think I went with like a George Benson or something close. You remember what it was? Because I've told the story before. I can't remember what the song was.
I thought you said it was.
We played it, and I said that's the song I got busted on.
I think it was a George Benson song.
I think it was too. I think it was George Benson. I think it was. I can't remember the song. I can't hear it in my head because I still got that.
The one question I have with this though,
yes,
when you're writing these out, are you literally just sitting there listening to the song over and over, and writing and picking up what you can?
Yes.
Okay.
Or back in the day when we had things called, I don't know if you've ever heard of this, albums, but they used to have the lyrics inside the jacket of the thing, or sometimes they had the lyrics on the back of the album.
Right, that was going to be my next question because CDs would have that as well. In the booklet, you open it up and all the lyrics are inside.
Oh, is that right? See, I'm not a CD guy, so I wouldn't know that.
Yeah, so that's why I was curious. It's like, was it like that, or was it more like you're sitting there with your?
Sometimes, sometimes it would be like you have to pick up the needle again. Hang on, slow down, Frank.
Just drop it back.
Drop the needle back again.
In the disc that way.
Yes,
oh my God.
Pretty much, yes. Or sometimes I'd be sitting in my car.
Right.
I'd be sitting in my car, and I'd be like, and I'd hit the cassette. Hang on.
See, this was just your version of making them a playlist.
That's right. And I was wrought with guilt too. Because at least the girls were smart enough that they could recognize brilliance. And when I sent something to Rhonda. I sent them to every girl I was chasing. And finally, Rhonda was a really smart girl. I told you she became Claire Huxtable. She is a lawyer in Atlanta, and her first husband was an OBGYN. I heard she got divorced and remarried. But when she came to me and she goes, Ralph. And I go, yeah, what's wrong? And she goes, I mean this sincerely. And I go, what, Rhonda, what's wrong? And she goes, you're like a genius, dude. Like, you should like apply to the Atlanta Constitution Journal right now. Because I swear, I'm not trying to be your girlfriend. I've never seen anyone write the way you do. And I was just like, oh my God. And I said, well, you're right about that. Because his name is Sammy Khan. And Hammerstein, and yeah. I had no shame. I'm telling you, in my 20s, I was a despicable, god-awful human being. I really, truly was. In the name of sowing wild oats. It was crazy. 842-5376, 842-KERN. What do you got?
Jimbo chimed in saying, this is another reason why manned aircraft is obsolete. Drones have no human hostages to be exploited and ransomed.
Well, I don't know if it's obsolete. That's crazy to say, but it's becoming more dangerous. That's for sure. We don't know whether it was a drone or a missile unless you have new information. And we don't know why the A-10 Warthog went down. We don't know whether that was struck or whether it went down by some sort of accident. That pilot was rescued. And I don't know if you've been keeping your eyes open, Chris. I don't know if there's any new news on the second pilot, but this is gargantuan. Because if the Iranians get their hands on an American soldier, it's a whole new war. It's a whole new war. They're gonna bring him out in a blindfold and with his hands behind his back and display him for the world. And then now the Democratic liberals their heads are going to be on fire. And they're going to demand that this war stop. Look what you've done, blah, blah, blah. They'll bring up the 13 dead, and they'll bring up this boy or girl. We don't even know if it's a female or a male that is possibly in Iranian captivity. I mean, I truly believe this is worse than if the pilot had died. I really do. Because they're going to keep him hostage, and they're going to use him. And they'll have him say something that he probably didn't say. They'll have him sign something saying that we're, warmongers, that this was a unholy war created by an insane president. This is just the absolute single worst case scenario. And putting more pressure on the president to stop this thing. And they're just going to have a field day with this thing. They're absolutely going to have a field day with this. But we can all just pray this Easter for this young man's safety and that he or she returns to the United States safe and sound. It's a horrible, horrible day. What else you got?
This Iran war is looking like mission creep.
Mission creep.
And they put that in quotes too. I'm not sure exactly what that's referencing.
The only CREEP as an acronym that I'm aware of is the Committee to Re-elect the President, which was a big organization during the Nixon re-election, which was laundering and funneling all the money that paid the Cubans to break into Watergate. That's the only CREEP I'm familiar with. So I don't know I have no idea what they're talking about. What else?
I got one last one here. It says, I put cilantro leaf and smoked paprika on top of my deviled eggs.
Say that again? Cilantro and what?
Cilantro leaf and smoked paprika.
Ooh, smoked paprika. I've never heard of smoke. I said paprika. I've never heard of smoked paprika.
That's what they put here.
There's a difference?
I guess so.
I'd have to talk to Harriet about that. I'm going to talk to her tonight. I might ask her about that. Mom, what's smoked paprika? I don't know. You know what I was thinking? I might walk back down to Lawson's tonight.
Again?
I really might.
Did it work out yesterday?
Oh, so good. It was so freaking good. Because I like, I'm used to eating to-go stuff, Uber Eats stuff.
Right.
Where you get like a meat and a side. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But at the buffet at Lawson's, here's what I had. This is what I did. I got some brown rice, and I made that as like my base. And then they have like all these different chicken dishes, right? So they have a chicken dish and a certain, just like pieces, chunks of chicken and like a gravy bell pepper sauce, right? Then they've got another chunks of chicken and another sauce. Then they have pieces of chicken, roasted chicken, pieces. So, okay, so I got the rice as my base, my brown rice. Then I got my piece, just the chunks of chicken with the gravy over the brown rice. Then I got a couple of drumsticks of pieces. Then I went and got some penne pesto pasta with peas. Oh, it was so good. And then just got a little skosh of potato salad. And then I got some cooked mushrooms to just threw them all over the top. Just anyway, just got a bunch of mushrooms, threw it all over the top. And I'm thinking about doing it again because they change it daily. And there was a lot of stuff that I could have gotten that I didn't get. So even if it's the same menu, there's different things that I could get. And I could eat that chicken again. I really am. And I almost stepped inside of In Shape as I was walking by there just to
go see what they're looking
how
at.
how much they're talking. I might do that tonight. Because I ain't got nothing to do tonight. The Dodgers have already played. Love After Lockup. It's the final episode. It's Love During Lockup, so it's not that good. Love During Lockup is when they're in stir and they meet, blah, blah. That's not as good. Love After Lockup is they catch it right when they're coming out. And as I always say, the first 3 days are a honeymoon until mama's purse ends up missing. Baby, mama's purse is missing. What? So I did it? What, you gonna blame me? Well, baby, you did go away for robbery. So that makes me the culprit, huh? Yeah. And then it's all downhill from there. I'm sorry. I'm slow-witted, I guess. I absolutely love it. All right, let's go ahead and take a break, and we come back. You will hear from Reed Weissman, one of the 4 astronauts that are speeding to the moon, part of Artemis 2, traveling faster and farther than any human ever. And then there will be Artemis 3 and Artemis 4, where we'll be setting up a moon base. And from said base, it's off to Mars, the red planet, where Matt Damon has stayed. You ever seen that, The Martian?
I haven't actually.
It's not a bad movie.
No?
No, it's a pretty good movie, actually. It's a little unbelievable, but You know, what sci-fi movie isn't a little unbelievable?
Yeah, that one just kind of escaped me. I saw it. I saw trailers for it, and everybody said it was good, but I just never went and saw it.
I actually saw it in the theater. I know who I saw it with, too.
Yeah?
Yes, I do. Unfortunately. Quick time out. We're coming right back on this Good Friday. It's the Ralph Bailey Show on Newstalk 96.1 and AM 1180, KERN, streaming live at kernradio.com.
News Talk 96.
You want to do adaptive or? Yeah.
First Look with Scott Cox, 6 to 9 a.m.
On the Monday edition of the First Look program, we'll check in on the Artemis II crew, the latest on our fun adventures in Iran. We got the hot list. We got America's Job Center at Kern. We got news. We got traffic. We got weather. And we got 3 hours to get it done. 6 to 9 right here at News Talk 96.1, streaming live at kernradio.com.
First Look with Scott Cox, 6 to 9 a.m. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
It's that man again, Ralph Bailey for Adaptive Networks business owners. How many times have you called your IT company and felt like just another ticket number? Well, at Adaptive Networks, exceptional customer service isn't just the promise, it's how they do business every single day. And nobody knows that better than the folks here at American General Media, because they are a client of ours and we are a client of theirs. IT is incredibly important for a radio station. We can't depend on somebody saying, well, we'll be out there tomorrow, because all you hear is nothing. So it's do or die for us. That's why we depend on Adaptive Networks. And when you call, you'll actually talk to a real person who knows your name, understands your business, and genuinely cares about solving your problems. No phone trees, no run around, no attitude. That's what Adaptive Networks are all about. Call today at 661-241-0638. That's 241-0638. Join the...
So a listener just called in with a very good point. You bad Catholic, you. You can't eat meat today. Yeah, it's Good Friday. You have all the days for you to like not to eat meat this week or this month. Yeah, it has to be today.
And they don't have fish. We're going to get fish.
Bento.
Huh?
Sushi.
Oh, I can do sushi, you're right. Damn, I was looking forward to last.
Or, well, no, okay, if you're wanting to walk, that's a little bit different. But I was going to say fish and chips at, no, bowling alley, Mossman's.
Mossman's.
Yeah.
That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea.
Again, it's a different kind of walk. You still have to get an Uber and then walk from your house, but still.
It's not a bad walk. I've done it before.
Yeah. And honestly, that one you can order before you go and pick it up when, like, order it when you get home and then just walk and pick it up. By the time you get there, it'll be done.
This country, including all their customer service.
As she called in and she said, remind him that it's Good Friday and to be a good Catholic, you should not be eating meat. I said, oh my God, you're absolutely right. I forgot. You know, I'm going to dinner at my dad's house. Hopefully he's not doesn't have anything that's not fish. But then again, I'm a terrible Catholic. So
Micro Works. They're helping my foundation train the next generation of skilled workers. Don't get me wrong. Saving money's great, and you'll save plenty with Pure Talk. But if you want to be in business with people who share your values, dial pound 250, say micro, and switch to an American wireless company that actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
You're listening to the Ralph Bailey Show. Catch me weekday morning 6 to 9 a.m. on First Look with Scott Cox, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
The late John Denver.
Not a good radio song. Little slow for radio.
Too slow,
Yeah, a little bit. But I heard it and it took me back.
One of the listeners just called in. It might be the person who had texted in about this earlier, but they explained what mission creep is.
Okay.
So it is the gradual and often unintentional expansion of a project, organization, or military mission beyond its intended goal or scope or purpose. So that's what they were trying to explain.
Okay. I mean, might we put boots on the ground to come get this guy? Are there boots on the ground looking for him now? Oh, and by the way, thinking of callers who called in, the guy that I mentioned the book, and I couldn't remember the book that I referenced, and Chris and I finally figured out it was Nick Ragone's book, Presidential Leadership: 15 Decisions That Changed America was the name of the book. It's Nick Ragone. It's a great read. It's a short read, and as I talked about earlier in the week, it is 15 different chapters on 15 different administrations. And what I love about the book, I still read it to this day because, like I said, it's 15 different decisions by 15 different presidents and 15 different administrations. And I'll just go back and read the Gettysburg chapter of Abraham Lincoln, or go back and read the Kennedy chapter. And why we brought it up is because the Kennedy chapter is about space. And you would normally think if somebody was going to write a short synopsis of the Kennedy administration, it might focus on the election itself, how close it was with Richard Nixon, and allegations that it was stolen by Richard Daley and Sam Giancana and the mob. You would talk about the Bay of Pigs, which I think was a payback to the mafia to get them back into Cuba after Batista's downfall and Castro's rise. And again, as I always reference, even if you don't know history, you've seen Godfather 2. You saw how Hyman Roth was splitting up the hotels in Havana, and then there's a revolution. Well, that actually happened. The mob was settled in 1959 in Havana. Santo Trapacante out of Miami was running things. And as Hyman Roth said in GF2, we finally got what we've always wanted, a government that will work with us, as opposed to trying to put us out of business. And there's that famous line in Godfather 2 where Michael says, "I saw something today." And Hyman says, "What?" He said, "I saw a rebel with a grenade grab a captain and take him with him and explode." And Hyman Roth says, "Well, what does that mean?" He says, "Well, they could win." And that's exactly what happened. And once Castro got in, he took over all their hotels and kicked them out. And I believe that part of the reasons that the mafia helped John Kennedy win in 1960 was that his promise to get them back into Cuba. And I think my theory is strengthened by the fact that the very first foreign policy effort by the Kennedy administration was the Bay of Pigs, was to get them back into Cuba, which failed miserably. And Kennedy wasn't going to provide air power to try to satisfy a bunch of mobsters. And so it failed miserably. But Nick doesn't talk about that. He doesn't talk about the Cuban Missile Crisis, which almost literally blew up the planet. He talks about space and Kennedy's commitment to get to the moon before 1970, which we did literally by like 6 months. Really, it was July of '69 when Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong walked on the moon. And I think that's how important space is. And this Artemis mission, which is the genesis of deep space travel and our efforts to get to Mars. I mean, as a kid, I thought by the 21st century we'd be flying around like the Jetsons, but I never thought we'd go to Mars in my lifetime. And I'm not sure we'll get there before I die, but we just might. We'll certainly get there within 30, 40 years. And once we're at Mars, who knows? Who knows? We talked about this a little while ago, that there is the government has asked for volunteers to go on one-way missions, to go travel into space so far and so deep that you will die in space, that there's no possibility of return, but that you could learn and signal back things. And do you know that people signed up for it? Hell, I'm an old man. I wouldn't spend my last 10 years in space. Are you going crazy? Wouldn't do it for a minute. Anything left on the board before we get into the 5?
Nope, that's it.
All right. Reed Weissman is one of the 4 astronauts in space. I went to Starbucks and found my Stinson's legal pad, so now I can tell you a little bit about the 4 astronauts. Reed Weissman, the young man that you're about to hear from, is a former chief astronaut. He's logged some 6,000 miles in space. Christina Koch, the lone woman, she's a mission specialist. She holds the record for being in space. She was in space on the space station for 328 days. Jeremy Hansen is the Canadian. He is a mission specialist. No, he's not. Excuse me. Yes, he's a former. Jeremy Hansen is a mission specialist and a former fighter pilot, and he is the Canadian on the trip. And Victor Glover is the African American. He's a retired Navy fighter pilot. He is manually handling Orion, the capsule that is basically, they've already tested docking because there's nowhere to dock because there's no landing craft, but that's what they'll have to do. So they practiced that and done it successfully. Meantime, here is mission specialist Reed Weissman.
When we got done that burn, we just kind of looked at each other as a crew. We have been to the moon before in 1969, 1968 through 1972. It's been a long time since we've been back. And I got to tell you, there's nothing normal about this. Sending 4 humans 250,000 miles away is a Herculean effort. And we are now just realizing the gravity of that.
250,000 miles away, traveling at speeds at 25,000 miles per hour, re-entering the Earth at 17,500 miles an hour, and the temperatures 3,000 degrees at re-entry. I mean, how do you even test for that? How do you even create 3,000 degrees on Earth? I mean, just rockets, it literally is rocket science, which just absolutely escapes me. And again, as I said, normally, if my history bears out, they normally would splash down in like the Bahamas or certainly in the Atlantic. But from what I understand, they'll be splashing down just off of San Diego, down in the Pacific, which, if you did not know, is the largest ocean of the 7. Can you name all the oceans, Mr. Burdick? And this is a big test because I was at Noble Elementary School and I asked 5th graders this and they got it right. Just saying.
Honestly, I have a problem getting it.
Or no, is
wrong.
it 5? Wait, it might be 5. Hey Siri, how many oceans are there?
Historically, there are 4 named oceans: the Atlantic, Pacific.
No.
Well, it's the 2 easy ones.
I think there are 5. I don't know what she's talking about. What do you got?
Does the Red Sea count as one?
No, it does not. Hence the term.
Yeah, I didn't think so. No, the Pacific, Atlantic for sure. Honestly, those are the only 2 I know 100%.
Geronimo.
That doesn't help me out right now.
Geronimo doesn't help you?
No, it does not.
Native American doesn't help you. Man, you need to sue those people at Garces High School.
I'm telling you, man. Sir, history ain't my thing.
The phrase Native American does not help you on one of the oceans.
Again, it does not.
You've never heard of the Indian Ocean?
Oh, Indian Ocean. That makes sense.
The Antarctic and the Southern Ocean. I asked 5th graders that. I swear to God, they got it right, Chris. I'm just saying. They had to hook me up on Antarctica, though. I'm not lying.
This is AM 1180 KERN Green Acres. This is 96.1 FM Bakersfield. Online at KERNradio.com.
The news this hour from Town Hall. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. Artemis II's moon-bound astronauts have captured Earth's brilliant blue beauty as they leave it behind.
NASA has released the crew's first images from aboard the Artemis II, the first astronaut-manned moonshot in more than half a century. The first photo shows a curved slice of Earth in one of the capsule's windows. The second shows the entire globe. Pilot Victor Glover says seeing the Earth from space reminds him that we are all Earth's people.
Trust us, you look amazing. You look beautiful.
As of late Friday, the crew was more than 110,000 miles from Earth, with another 150,000 before they reached the moon. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
Iran shot down 2 U.S. military planes in separate attacks Friday, with 1 service member rescued and at least 1 missing, in a dramatic escalation since the war began nearly 5 weeks ago. It was the first time U.S. aircraft have been downed in the conflict. Russia has launched a daytime attack on Ukraine early on Good Friday.
Russia has launched a massive missile and drone strike on Friday near the Ukrainian capital, killing at least 1 person and injuring around 8, regional authorities report. As Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky signaled peace openness to a potential Easter truce. The holiday is celebrated on April 12 in both Ukraine and Russia. Ukrainian officials say Russia is increasingly striking the country during the day, an apparent departure from months of nighttime barrages. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
American employers added a surprisingly strong 178,000 new jobs last month, rebounding from a dismal February, and the unemployment rate dipped to 4.3%. No activity on Wall Street today due to Good Friday. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free, no-risk consultation. 800-292-7875. 800-292-7875. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-292-7875.
From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
A man breaks into a house. That man ends up dead. I'm Chris Davis. That man's name has not yet been made public. Kern County deputies say that happened Thursday evening in Tehachapi at a house on Alta Vista Avenue, just to the west of Highway 202. About 6:30, they got a call about a burglary in progress, and by the time they got there, the guy had been shot and was dying. They say the man died at the scene. The homeowner cooperated with them, and so far, no arrests have been made. The name of the person killed has not been released. You will no longer have to see the giant face of Cesar Chavez, once a hero, now considered disgraced, at 18th and L downtown. The owner of the building decided to take down the big mural that's been there since 2019, since some people aren't up to stomaching Chavez after sex abuse accusations. Then this week, someone vandalized the mural, spray painting "Believe Survivors" on it, which sped up the process. Also at 18th and L is some construction that starts Monday and will lead to some closures of both 18th and 19th Streets between L and O, and that will go all the way through Halloween, says the city. They say they will have crews making some improvements to that area, which will require the closures, and they are asking that you be careful while driving through there. Healthcare fraud was the reason 8 Californians were arrested Thursday in a sting that targeted people at hospice centers who were overbilling Medicaid to the tune of about $50 million, say the feds. That was in and around the city of Los Angeles. In some cases, the feds say that the people were not terminal.
$1.12.
12 minutes?
No, $1.12. Minute 12, yeah.
I'm Chris Davis in the KERN Newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on FM 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
What do you think, this is the Army where you shoot them a mile away? You gotta get up close like this. Bing, you blow their brains all over your nice Ivy League suit.
It's the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Now make sure you leave the house when you make the call. You understand me? You hear me? Call from an outside line. I mean it.
Call in or text to 661-842-KERN. That's 661-842-5376. Listen live at KERNradio.com. Now, the host you've been waiting all day for. Live from the KERN studio, Here's Ralph Bailey.
Final hour of the broadcast, final hour of the week as we wrap up another 5 days of outstanding radio broadcasting right here on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN, where we stream live at kernradio.com and where you can subscribe and watch us on YouTube. And of course, you can go back and watch prior episodes, prior interviews, things that you have missed during a show or something that you missed or heard referenced early in the week. The most impressive thing that I've noticed about what we're doing with YouTube are the number of people that are actually going back and watching after the show. There's at least, I think, a 30 to 40 person increase post 6 o'clock, which I think is really cool. Either people are going back and re-listening to something that they missed or just don't have time to listen during the day and taking the opportunity to go to YouTube and listen to the broadcast. Some of the listeners have ruined my night. Some of my fellow Catholics have reminded me that it's Good Friday and that I can't even go to Lawson's and have some chicken. And I bet they have the mac and cheese. They have the best mac and cheese in town, I'm telling you. The absolute best mac and cheese in town. And I can't even have the mac and cheese. So bento sushi tonight for the kid. A little salmon and a little yellowtail. Meantime, as I talked about, we will not be here tomorrow. Is my math right? 58 years since 1968? 68, 78, 88, 98, 08, 18, 20. No, it's not right. 28.
58.
Is it 58?
58.
58 and 68 is 2026?
2026 minus 1,968 is 58.
Okay, so I was right. I don't trust myself on numbers. But it was 58 years ago tomorrow that the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. was killed. And I'm just going to read you what Wikipedia says about this, and then you'll hear the speech that Dr. King gave, his final speech the night before the assassination. On March 29th, 1968, Dr. King went to Memphis, Tennessee in support of the black sanitation workers. The workers had been on strike since March 12th for higher wages and better treatment. In one incident, black street repairmen received pay for 2 hours when they were sent home because of bad weather, but white employees were paid for the full day. On April 3rd, 58 years ago today, King addressed a rally and delivered his "I've Been to the Mountaintop" address at Mason Temple. King's flight to Memphis had been delayed by a bomb threat against his plane, and in reference to the bomb threat, and for the first time in his life, according to Ralph Abernathy and Andrew Young, and even the late Reverend Jackson, this was the first time ever they heard in a speech Dr. King allude to his ultimate demise.
Well, I don't know what will happen now. We've got some difficult. Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place. But I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And He's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
And 8 hours later, he was shot in the right cheek, went through and destroyed his jaw, went through his neck, and lodged in his right shoulder. And he was not expected to speak at the church that night, as I talked about at the top of the show. And whenever I talk about this, he was sitting back at the hotel having dinner. and Andrew Young hastily ran back to the hotel. It was a thunderous, rainy night. And Dr. King said, I'm not going anywhere. I'm having dinner. I'm not supposed to speak there. Plus, it's pouring rain, Andy. I'm not going anywhere. And I said, that's the point, Dr. King. The church is so full that people are standing outside in the rain waiting to hear you speak. And he kind of lowered his head and he said, get my jacket. And he went and he impromptu basically predicted his own death. And of course, as I hope most of you know, riots ensued in some of the major cities in Washington, Kansas City, St. Louis, Chicago. And the only positive aftermath that came out of his death was that the city of Memphis settled with the sanitation workers and they got what they demanded. It has always been my thesis, as crazy as this sounds, that Dr. King knew he was not going to live a long life. And for the movement's sake and for his legacy's sake, it was probably the best ending for Dr. King. I know that sounds crazy. I know it may sound like it doesn't make any sense, but what you have to understand, and I always talk about this when we talk about history, it's one thing to know the facts of what was going on in 1968. It's another thing to have lived. Now I was 6 years old. I don't remember 1968. We were living on a naval base in St. Albans, New York. That's pretty much, I remember Central Park. I remember Times Square, boop, 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 boop. And then my mother would always say that James Brown lives near the naval base. That's about all I remember. But I do know that it was a tumultuous time. I do know that Stokely Carmichael, who was one of the leaders of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, and SNCC, SNCC stood for SNCC, Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. And he was one of the leaders. And with the rise of Malcolm X, who was totally opposed to civil disobedience, the movement started to crack. And that's one of the reasons that Dr. King's voice began to expand. And that was one of the reasons that he was resented by Lyndon Johnson, because, for example, the reason he was in Memphis wasn't really about civil rights. It was more about the economy and the rights of a certain group of workers, the sanitation workers. He had expanded the movement. He had expanded the movement into housing and other things like that in northern cities like Boston and Chicago, and had also expanded the movement to include desegregating schools. And I think if you're old enough, you know how that went in Boston and Chicago, where Dr. King used to say, you know, they talk about the South, but our trips to Boston and Chicago have been more vile and vicious and angry than anything I've ever experienced in Atlanta or Birmingham or anywhere in the South. And I truly believe that the movement was going to fracture as it died with Dr. King, because those young people were tired of this eye for an eye. And again, with the rise of Malcolm X, who was telling them to arm themselves, obviously, as we know through history, Malcolm X had a epiphany and changed his thoughts on white people and on the Nation of Islam itself, and changed this whole idea. But King was having a tough time in the 60s, and his relationship with Lyndon Johnson was deteriorating, and they were depending on Robert Kennedy to save the day. And as you know, he would die, April, May, June, 2 months later. And I think that's really when the movement kind of died. And then Reverend Jackson tried to step in and be the kind of liaison, and he became that. I was never a real fan of Jesse Jackson early in my life with Push, and because Jesse would always kind of wear like a dashiki, and he had a gargantuan afro. It was the early 70s. Everybody, even I had a gargantuan afro. And Jesse just seemed to be kind of an opportunist. You know, he had lied about where he was when Dr. King was murdered. He first tried to say that he was on the balcony, which he was not. He then tried to say that he was a target because he wasn't wearing a tie, or some ridiculous story. But as I've talked about, I learned a lot about Dr. King in my home. And one of the things that my dad stressed, because of my almost failure to write my senior thesis to get out of high school, was the fact that you're going to have to do this at Morehouse as well. And you're not going to get out of Morehouse. And so I always constantly thought about my thesis I was going to write. And I was going to write about Dr. King, because a lot of the foibles of Dr. King weren't well known in 1980. The fact that he had plagiarized some of his work at Boston University, the fact that he had slept with some of his parishioners. Well, I was well aware of that. I had heard that in my house. My father was a Morehouse man. Two of his friends were Morehouse men, and they would talk about Dr. King all the time. And I had full intention of going down and writing this thesis that I thought would be authored one day. I really thought I was going to blow the lid off this thing. And then I started investigating Dr. King, and I started listening to his speeches. And it was fortunate for me, my sophomore year at Morehouse, they just built a brand new library, and I got to go through the microfiche. And I actually got to watch many of his speeches. And I walked away, because I came in there so cynical that I'm going to destroy Dr. King, and I'll have the chutzpah to do this because I'm a Morehouse man going to his college, and I'm a legacy. My father was a Morehouse man, so I won't get the criticism that somebody normally outside of the quote-unquote black family might get. And I might write a book about this. And the more I studied Dr. King, the more I admired him, because the one thing that I constantly was reminded of was his courage, his absolute unyielding courage, because it is clear in this speech and in discussions with his friends that he knew he was not going to live a long life. And when I say long life, he knew he wasn't going to make it to 50. He knew that. He knew that someone one day would take his life. There was an attempt on his life when he was in his 20s. A crazy black woman, he was signing a book deal in Harlem, and a crazy black woman took a letter opener and shoved it into his chest. And it's always referred to as the sneeze attack. It's referred to that because King's doctor told him that the letter opener was so close to his heart that had he sneezed, he would have bled to death. Or if somebody had tried to remove the letter opener, he would have bled to death, which is a great medical reminder as we go to break. If you're ever impaled with anything, leave it alone. Don't touch it. If somebody, whether it's a pen, a knife, a stick, a rod that falls off a house, if you're ever impaled, do not remove it. All you're doing is opening up a freeway of blood. Keep it in you, pack it off, and get to a hospital and let somebody remove it that can give you more blood after they remove it. But don't do it at your house or on the street. It's a really good medical lesson. Quick time out. Bottom of the hour, we're going to meet Casey D, a local artist. Then we'll wrap this thing up and head into the Easter weekend. And a happy Good Friday to you all once again. From the Ralph Bailey Show, right here on Newstalk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN, where we're streaming live at kernradio.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 11.
Messmaker.
Monday edition of the Clay Travis and Buck Sexton Show. Updates on the Iran war. What's the latest from the White House on all of the kinetic operations over there? We'll discuss that. Plus, another look at where things are going in this midterm cycle. Democrats having issues on crime, having issues with the border, and of course, the strong Trump economy. We'll talk about that and more on Clay and Buck.
Live 9 to noon. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Every Thursday at 4:30, Daniel Petrie lightens up the broadcast with his incredible wit, pure intelligence, political knowledge, and obviously an absolute master of economics. That's why he's such an important cog on this broadcast. And you can hear him even on some of his off days when there are financial movements that we can't explain. We lean on my man from Messmaker and Petrie Wealth Advisors. And of course, you know what they're all about. They're all about retirement. I've turned at least 3 or 4 different people on to Messmaker Petrie Wealth Advisors, and they could not be happier. You could be happy as well with your situation in terms of the fourth quarter in your life if you call 395-9400, 395-9400, the offices of Messmaker and Petrie Wealth Advisors.
This broadcast is for informational purposes only and does not constitute investment advice or a solicitation for advisory services by Daniel Petrie or MPWA Incorporated, DBA, Messmaker, and Petrie Wealth Advisors. The program host is a client and receives compensation and other financial benefits in connection with this advertisement, creating a conflict of interest. Experiences discussed may not be representative of other clients.
Real talent is defined by what people can do, not where they learn to do it. So by stopping at the education section of a resume, you might throw away the perfect hire. You might miss someone who has valuable skills to offer to help your business thrive right now and in the future. Because the truth is this: Skills First Hiring helps you see talent others miss, like more than 70 million stars, skilled through alternative routes. When you let their story unfold, you gain a competitive advantage, because hiring managers who start with skills are 60% more likely to find a successful hire. See the real person, complete. See what others miss. Hire skills first. Learn why it's a competitive advantage at tearthepaperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad Council.
It's tax time, y'all. If you want to file free, this next one's for you.
Now taxes is so free. TurboTax, free edition only. Roughly 37% of filings qualify. Simple form 1040 returns only. This is tax.
Love that jam. Up next, commercials.
And to get TurboTax free edition, see if you qualify at turbotax.com/free. No schedules except for earned income tax credit, child tax credit, student loan interest, and Schedule 1A.
Here's a tale of Becky. Didn't know what to do with new meds prescribed and no real cost clue.
She squinted at prices, that can't be right. Then tapped GoodRx and saw the light.
She can get a deal. Book telehealth if you feel.
Learn about those meds without any stress. That one little app does all the rest. Even my horse downloaded it. Dang, save time and money on prescriptions.
Check GoodRx. GoodRx is not insurance.
I'm JR Flores. Catch my show, The JR Show, weekdays at 2 p.m. Now, back to The Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
He treats his actors like horses. Because when he was doing, there's a great show, Rawhide. I don't know if you're old enough to remember Rawhide. He played Rowdy Yates, a Western. And he had all these old directors there who directed movies that made a big deal about yelling action. You know, we're rolling. All right, stand by. This is the take. Everybody ready? Out of 3, 2, 1. Action! And every time they would do that, the horses they were on would bolt. You know, action! And they'd have to like steer. So when you're in a Clint Eastwood movie, you don't even know the camera's rolling, and you just hear over your shoulder, "All right, go ahead." You do it, and sometimes you're doing some pretty hard stuff, and you just keep doing it until you hear him say, "That's enough of that." and then you move on and you're on to the next setup. It's intimidating as hell.
Because that can go either way. Every time, that's enough of that.
Yeah.
Every time, instead of cut,
He doesn't
that's enough
say
of that.
No, he'll say stop if it means you're going to do it again. But other than most of the guy, that's enough of that. Thanks for the vote of confidence.
Tom Hanks on Working with Clint Eastwood. Can you name the film they worked together on? Sitting on the dock of the bay. Huh? Your mic's not on.
Sorry, I was still on the other part. I cannot think of it. Actually, I think about it.
Airplane is your clue.
Oh, it's the one where he's the tourist and he's locked in the airport. Oh, not that one?
No.
Castaway?
No. But a classmate of mine, well, I wasn't a classmate, he's 4 years older, Josh McLaughlin, Victor McLaughlin's grandson, Andrew McLaughlin's son. Andrew McLaughlin directed many of the John Wayne pictures, Chisholm and McClintock, et cetera, and Josh and his really fine sister Mary
got into Hollywood. Josh is the second director on Castaway, and Mary McLaughlin became a very famous casting director. I just thought I'd throw that in there. But no, it's not Castaway. Are you looking it up? You cheater?
No.
What are we
I was
looking
looking at text messages. Honestly, I don't know.
Sully, the Sullenberger with Sully landed the plane on the Hudson. It's a beautifully directed film. I love Clint Eastwood films because what he does at the end is he shows clips of the actual event at the very end of the movie when it's all over, and right before the credits roll, Clint shows the scenes that he's depicting with the passengers out on the wing waiting for the boats to come. And then the thing that Clint does, which is just, it was perfect. He scheduled a meet of Captain Sullenberger and the co-pilot and all of the passengers. And he shoots it. And they're all shaking each other's hand. And then the movie ends with the real Captain Sullenberger in this what do you call that? What's a garage for an airplane?
A
hangar. They're all in the hangar, and all he says is, "I'm Captain Sullenberger, you're captain," and they all applaud. I mean, it's just, after you see the movie and you see the real guy, it's just really moving. You see the real clips, and you meet some of the people that, sped to the plane. I mean, that's just a miraculous, ridiculous story. Would you want to go through that?
No.
If you knew you were going to survive?
Okay, if I knew I was going to survive on the other end.
See, I still wouldn't want, I think I'd have a heart attack. I think I would have a nervous breakdown. I think I'd be one of those guys that lost it. I don't know my character because I've been in three or four different hairy situations, and I'm 50-50. Two of them I panicked, and two of them I handled pretty well. Like the burglary at the airport, I handled pretty well, but I was stupid. It's the only reason I handled it well. Because the guy had a gun to my head, and I was talking to him, trying to negotiate. I was telling him, "Can you just leave me my airplane ticket?" And that's why I've got this knot on the back of my head, because he pistol whipped me. Because I should have just shut up. Guy could have blown my brains out. So I don't really count that as courage. That was just plain 19-year-old stupidity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I've been in a couple of situations where I've handled pretty well. But I'll tell you one that I didn't handle really well was Honor Flight. As much as we laugh about it, when they told us, hey, we're flying into a storm, I got a little nervous. Then 15 minutes later, when they came back and said, the plane is too heavy, we have to stop in Wichita because of the storm, I lost it. I didn't show it, but secretly I was like, I'm going to die. I'm going to die. Innerly, I was utterly panicked. In fact, Kevin Charette, it became like common knowledge in the group. Bailey's freaking out. Bailey's having a heart attack. Kevin Charette walked down to me and said, Ralph, it's really not that bad. Trust me, I'm a meteorologist. It's really not that bad a storm. I was like, you know what, Kevin, that really helps. And then I found out later.
He lied?
He lied through his teeth.
Yeah.
And Kevin, I thank you for that, my friend. But he was lying through his teeth just to calm down the nervous black guy. I will forever be in your debt, Kevin Charette, because that really did calm me down. Quick time out. I think she's at the door. We're about to meet local artist Cassie D. Cassie? We'll find out in a minute. It's Miss D will join us. It's the Ralph Bailey Show. Don't go anywhere.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
With us on the news, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. Good Friday is a uniquely solemn day in the Christian calendar. Celebrated the Friday before Easter, it commemorates the crucifixion and death of Jesus. This year it falls on April 3rd today for Catholics and Protestants and April 10th for Orthodox Christians. Across Christian denominations, worship service on Good Friday is unlike those on most other days. 2 U.S. military planes were shot down in separate incidents in the Middle East on Friday, escalating tensions in the ongoing conflict. One fighter jet was shot down in Iran. A U.S. crew member was rescued, but another remains missing. Separately, Iranian state media reports a U.S. A-10 attack aircraft crashed into the Persian Gulf. More on these stories at slnnews.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
I'm Chris Davis. A suspected burglar is dead in Tehachapi, and Kern County deputies say no arrest has been made so far in the case. They say the man forced his way into a house Thursday evening about 6:30 on Alta Vista Avenue near Highway 202 and was met by the homeowner and their gun. That man was mortally wounded and died shortly after deputies got there. The homeowner is cooperating with police. Someone broke into Kern Autism Network on World Autism Day, and though they did not take anything, they did bust the glass out of the place. The folks there are asking for tips to be passed on to police. The Cesar Chavez mural at 18th and L that spanned the height of the building is no more. It was removed Friday morning. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN Newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on FM 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
It's the third annual Autism on the Run, benefiting Hearts Connection. Saturday morning, April 11th at the park at Riverwalk off Stockdale Highway. You can participate in the family walk, 2K, 5K, or 10K. Sponsorships, vendors, raffle items, and volunteers still needed. All proceeds stay local and help local families. There will be prizes, snacks, drinks, kids zone, and more. For tickets and info, contact Susan Graham at 661-328-9055. We'll see you there for Autism on the Run.
On the next Armstrong and Getty Show, a college student who stopped one of the greatest cyber attacks in world history. Mamdani is crazier than ever. And should we be calling the war with Iran a holy war?
Speaking of the war with Iran, who knows what's going to happen over the next couple of days. We'll have the very latest for you on the next Armstrong and Getty Show.
Weekdays noon to 2 on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. The Armstrong and Getty Show. Weekdays noon to 2 on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show.
You bring on, so stop that fire. Keep on smiling.
812-537-6842 last half hour of the broadcast. And joining us, as those who are watching on YouTube can see, Casey D is live in studio with us. She's a local artist and now a new business owner. We'll get to that in just a minute. But let's start. Thanks for coming in the studio. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Happy Good Friday and happy Easter to you.
Yeah, this is so beautiful. I'm here on Good Friday.
I know. It's I love this
beautiful.
Party.
And following Father Greg.
Yes, he was great.
How awesome is
Did
that?
you hear that? Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Love him.
Yeah.
Absolutely love him.
Yeah.
So tell us about Heal for Hugh. How'd you get it started and what exactly does it mean?
So Heal for Hugh is a coloring book and it gives back to the community. Every coloring book that we create, we give back to a hospital patient or a veteran or senior living facility, anybody who's in a little bit extra need of some special love. And what we do is we collaborate with local artists and they have their biography and then also like inspirational, words and stuff for them.
Yeah.
So
what inspired you to do this?
I am an artist as well as an art teacher. Yeah. And so one of my students, she had cancer and was a survivor and she wanted to, do something, give back to the community. And I was like, hey, I can make that happen. We can do something with this.
Yeah.
So we created a book called Art to Heal for Hugh, and we did that whole thing. And then it was really difficult to tell people how to say the name because there's numbers in it and then the puns and all that stuff.
Right.
So I changed the name to Heal with You.
Yeah. And so, explain, how does it work? How do the hues? How do the different colors
hues.
impact? Yeah,
I love to play with words. I love puns, and so you're healing with color, and the hue means color. So I created a little character to go with that. I like a little mascot. It's an elephant. Anyway, it's so therapeutic to color. It gets your mind off things, and it makes people happy.
yeah.
And so that's the whole goal.
Are
Is
there- Do certain colors denote certain things and certain moods?
Sure, why not? I'm sure there's all kinds of studies on it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
What are the more positive colors?
I like purple.
I'm a big pro. I see that. You
So-
got your fingernails colored purple. I
Oh
see that.
yeah, conveniently.
Yeah.
Yeah. Green's supposed to be the heart chakra,
Yeah.
color.
Okay.
Yeah, there's all kinds of. I mean, it just depends. Depends what mood you're in. I mean, but as long as it makes you feel good, that's the most important part.
Yeah, absolutely. And
So-
it's had a positive impact.
Oh, huge! It is the most rewarding thing to go in and deliver these coloring books to the hospital patients, especially.
Yeah.
It just melts my heart, and it's really, really nice. And sometimes it's a little bit triggering because they're in such a terrible state, and the parents, are really nervous. And but then to see everything change by the time we leave, it gives it all the purpose in the world.
I bet.
It's
I
really
bet.
nice. And the same thing with the senior living facilities too.
Yeah.
They were just so grateful and happy. And
Yeah. Have you
The
gone to
veterans.
hospice or anything like that?
I have not done hospice yet.
Yeah.
I'm open to do everything and anything. If anybody needs to contact me, you can reach me through the Facebook page or Heal with You. And then, or you could call me 661-301-2195. Yeah, I'm open to everything and anything.
Yeah.
I wanna
And
help.
now you're getting into business. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So I went to become like an art curator for the local Bakersfield Airport. And in the meeting,
And what does that mean?
I get to help make it pretty.
Basically.
I'm one of the people that get to help with that. There's right now some local artists that are up on the wall with their framed pieces.
Yeah.
And you can purchase those through the gift shop or call the phone number that's on there. Anyway, we're kind of living it up. The airport's going to totally transform this year. It's going to be
Really?
crazy. Oh, it's going to be really exciting.
Really?
We're already starting to work on a bunch of stuff.
Tell us some of the things they're doing.
They're making some interactive type of stuff. Right now they have they're incorporating a lot of history and a lot of things that are applicable to Bakersfield. Who knows? You could be on there. They have a lot of
I doubt it. Very
No,
seriously.
don't doubt it. Everybody's getting involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's all kinds of advertising and everything. And it's really exciting. It's
That is
fun.
pretty cool.
Yeah, they're gonna totally they're gonna transform a lot.
Good.
I don't know
Good.
if I'm allowed to say what they're doing
Of
exactly
course you
yet.
are. Of course you
No,
are. Spill the
stop.
beans. Spill the tea. Let us know. Tell what you're doing though.
Oh, anyway, so through that meeting, there was an opportunity to take over the gift shop. And so I did it, and it's super fun.
Yeah.
So if anybody has gone through, they might notice that it's a lot more blingy.
A
And
lot more blingy.
Yes.
Okay.
A lot more sparkly, a lot of colors. I also have a lot of artwork in there too, supporting local artists. Anybody who's local, you're welcome. Come talk to me. I'm there 7 days a week, definitely from 8 to 2 p.m. 3701 Wings Way. It's super fun. I love it.
And you're going to change the name, you told me.
Yeah. Changing it to Wings of Love.
Wings of Love.
Mhm.
What is that going to affect? What is it called now? The Omni? What is it called now?
Omni Goods. I think it
Omni
means like
Goods.
everything. And it does. It has a little bit of everything now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's fun.
I just need something to read when I go to an airport gift shop.
Well, we have the Bakersfield Sound book from Robert Price.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got that. We have sorry.
It's an inside joke. Forget it. Forget it. Mr. Price and I don't,
No, it's all
don't
good.
see eye to eye.
No, it's so good.
Nice guy, but we just,
No, it's.
you get along with some people, you don't get along with other people. It's just the way it is.
I get it.
It was kind of funny. That's the first
No,
time we
no.
picked that,
I think it's really funny. Kathy Pistoresi is actually one of my favorite authors that is in the store. Sorry.
Yeah.
I love all of you. But Kathy was one of my first authors that was local authors that was in the gift shop, and her books flew off the shelf.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Beautiful person, beautiful human being, beautiful story.
And she's local.
She's local.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
outstanding.
20 minutes to live.
What's it
And
about?
She was in a coma, and I won't give away everything, but and so they were gonna basically pull the plug, and she had maybe hundreds of people, I don't know, but she had lots of people in the parking lot of the hospital. They were out there praying for her, and she came back to life.
The power of prayer.
Yep.
The power of prayer. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's outstanding. I'm really happy
Yeah,
for you.
yeah.
I really, really am. That's really exciting. And again, how if somebody's out there and they've got a child that's ill or something like that, how can they get a hold of Healing with Hugh?
Heal with you.
Heal with
There's no
you. Heal with
ing.
you. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. Like it's a process. See, it's way more simple than the Art to Heal for Hugh.
Right.
You can get a hold of me through Art to Heal for Hugh if you're familiar with it. Heal with Hugh, or Wings of Love. If you look for Wings of Love on Bakersfield, I just actually kind of, let's see how many listeners are paying attention and who's going to like the page of both Wings of Love. It's in
Okay.
Bakersfield. There's lots of Wings of Love, so you have to put Bakersfield in there. But let's see how many people are there. Maybe I'll give you a discount.
Oh, that's nice. Mention the Ralph Bailey Show. She'll give you a discount.
Yeah.
Nice. Casey, congratulations with all you're doing.
Thank
I'm really
you.
excited for you. I really am. And thanks for
Yeah.
coming in and taking the time.
Thanks for having me.
Miss D, and go say hi to her next time you're flying out of, what is it now?
Meadowsfield.
Meadowsfield or Bill Thomas, whatever.
Yeah.
So we're beginning to expand the airport. It's nice to see they're
Yes.
doing something. And I didn't know that the artwork was local.
Yes.
That was interesting
It's
to find out.
all
I did not
local.
know that.
Yeah.
I did not know that. Again,
Yeah.
congratulations.
Thank you.
Quick time out. We're wrapping this thing up. And Good Friday, heading into Easter. It's the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KRN. We're streaming live at kernradio.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. It's the JR Show.
So the IOC has finally done the right thing and banned transgender people from women's sports. They didn't do it for men's sports because you don't see the issue of trans people going from women to men trying to compete with men. No, you only see men trying to compete with the women because they know they have an advantage. And if they're not happy with that decision, well, they can just take their ball and go home.
The JR Show, weekdays at 2 p.m.
Attention, Medicare beneficiaries in Kern County. If you're eligible for Medicare and looking for a doctor who listens and cares about you with minimal wait times and prompt referral authorizations, it's time you learned about QualCare IPA. You know, for years, I've been telling you QualCare IPA contracts with most Medicare Advantage health plans and provides you with access to a large network of outstanding doctors and quality hospitals right here in Kern County. Medicare Advantage health plans go beyond original Medicare benefits coverage, and understanding these coverage differences may be confusing. Call us today, 661-554-4544. Let us help you understand your options for 2026. Call today, 661-554-4544. That's 661-554-4544. Get the information you need and the coverage you deserve. For accommodations of persons with special needs and meetings, call 661-554-4544. TTY 711.
This is McGruff the Crime Dog, and I need you to help me take a bite out of crime. Counterfeit products are popping up everywhere. Fake sneakers, fake cosmetics, and even fake pills. Crooks are selling counterfeit versions of just about everything. Last year, billions of dollars worth of counterfeit products were sold in the U.S. Sure, it may seem like saving a few bucks on the things you want isn't a big deal, but counterfeits are usually made in unsafe conditions, potentially using hazardous and even lethal ingredients that could harm you and others. And the money you paid It goes right into the hands of criminals and may support child labor, drugs, and even gangs. Smells like big crime to me. So if you still think buying fake products is harmless, think again. And remember, you don't know where the products came from. How could you know where the money goes? You're smart, buy smart. Go for real. Learn more at mcgruffpsa.org. This message is brought to you by the United States Patent and Trademark Office and the National Crime Prevention Council.
It's game day. Are your moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keeping you from the action? Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, could help you get back to the game. Skyrizi is proven to help people feel significant symptom relief, achieve remission, and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine for adults. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's or ulcerative colitis.
Control is everything to me.
Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's and ulcerative colitis combined. Learn more at skyrizi.com or 1-866-SKYRIZI.
The Clay Travis and Buck Sexton Show, live 9 to noon. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Are you ready? I come up here, boy. And every time things are big.
I'm so conflicted when I listen to Louis Prima because he was such a gregarious, affable, funny, entertaining guy. And if you've ever seen him live, obviously via reels, because he was dead before I think I was even alive. But I'm conflicted because he enjoyed putting his hands on women, like Anna, the short-haired, black-haired girl. I forget. Hang on a second. Hey Siri. Show me Louis Prima's wives.
Louis Prima was married to Louise Polizzi from 1929 to 1936.
Keely Smith.
To Alma Ross from 1936 to 1945. To Trace Lane Barrett from 1945 to 1952. To Keely Smith from 1953 to 1961. And to Gia Maoni from 1963.
He put his hands all over Keely Smith. And then he married this Gia Simone, who looked just like Keely Smith, and she reported that he put his hands on her too. So every time I hear that, and some of the best songs that he did with Keely Smith. I can't think because I got Rain in Heaven in my head, but it's so sad because she was such a beautiful woman, and she was diminutive, and he was kind of a big guy. That's what it has to be learned in the house. You have to have seen it. Because how can you grow up in a normal home and then as an adult become an abuser? You know what I'm saying? You have to learn that kind of behavior, in my opinion. Or you're just born evil. I guess some people are just born evil. But I have never, ever, 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 ever understood that. Hell, I wouldn't even hit my sisters. Now, I would wrestle my sisters. I would put Treese in a headlock and give her noogies. But I would never, ever strike even my sisters, even at like 10, and my sister was 6. I would never, the idea of putting, I don't know. You got to be a special kind of man to put your hands on a woman, particularly a woman that you supposedly love. And in some cases, a woman that gave you children. And, we're dealing with this recent case that's in court right now. Here's an interesting question that I was going to pose. There is a murder case that's being adjudicated right now of a man that killed the man that raped his sister. And they took the death penalty off the table. And I was just thinking, talk to me now. I got about 8 minutes before the weekend. because I really want to get some feedback on this. Shouldn't there be, just like there's special circumstances for killing a cop or, special circumstances that give you the death penalty, shouldn't there be certain circumstances where we don't lend a blind eye, but we kind of understand? I'm not saying that we should justify taking the law into your own hands, but he killed a man that raped his sister. Shouldn't he get a little leniency from our society? Or is that creating a slippery slope where if you do that, then everybody who is, wronged will take the world in their law in their own hands? What do you think?
Because I agree with you. I like if it's something heinous like that, I am all for justice by vigilantism or whatever.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying that the guy should go free.
No.
But I just don't think he should be treated like every other murderer.
No, he shouldn't be going to jail for the rest of his life for defending his sister.
No, absolutely not. I think he should do,
10, 15
5 years
to make sure you're not unstable.
Yeah, 5, 7 years. He should definitely do prison time. But I think that there should be, back in the day, you could claim temporary insanity.
Yeah.
Dude raped my sister. I went nuts. When I was going to school in Georgia in the 1980s, if you came home and your wife was with another man and you shot the other man, it was justifiable homicide in the state of Georgia. They changed that. But while I was in Atlanta, and you guys, some of you loyal listeners know why I know this, why we looked this up. Because, one of the great things in college is, particularly when you're living in a dorm, when something comes up, there's somebody on the floor that's studying it. You know what I'm saying? So when there was a medical issue, we'd go to the Flores brothers, Mark and Frank, who I'm still friends with. Frank is an anesthesiologist in Philadelphia. I'm going to see him when I go to Nick's tournament. And Frank is a GP in Hempstead, Long Island, where they grew up. And we had a legal beagle down the mall. And you heard Torrance, who called in, who lived on the 4th floor. He was our math genius. Whenever we had a math question, we go to him. And we had the one guy, Al Bolden, who was studying law, who became the district attorney of New Orleans. Look it up. I don't make this stuff up. It was on 3rd floor, Graves Hall, 1980. Al Bolden, DA of New Orleans. I don't know the years. I'm thinking early 90s, late 80s. And we had an incident. That's, I think, why Chris laughed, because he knows I'm going to tell this story, of Willie Mitchell. One of the nicest guys, lives in Los Angeles. He's a big-time sales guy for one of the big advertisers for the Dodgers. He's making a mint. All my friends are millionaires. I'm the poorest of all my friends, literally. And Willie Mitch, Morehouse, Graves Hall is situated at the back of the Morehouse campus. And it goes along a residential street, and it's only separated by a fence. And somehow Willie Mitchell met some woman that lived in one of those buildings, and her husband was a postman. And Willie was having an ongoing affair with this woman. And one afternoon, the postman came home, literally, and shot Willie in his ass as he was running. He caught him in the thing, chased, according to Willie Mitch, came upstairs. Willie tried to hide. It was obvious that something was going on. The sheets were all torn apart. And Willie was wearing one of the sheets. And so the guy was like, "Where is he? Where is he?" And Willie tried to run down the steps. And as he was running down the steps, the guy shot him in the ass. And he ran back to the dorm. And I remember people running down the hallway, "Willie Mitch got shot. Willie Mitch got shot." We're like, "What? Shut up." And my door, 304 Graves Hall, went right to the steps. And I looked down the steps. And like I said, if you've never seen somebody shot, the movie thing it took us, because we had to clean up the blood. We were on the 3rd floor, so we had to clean up the blood all the way down the steps, all through the hallway. And then we took a hose and kind of just sprayed it down in the street. But it was a trail of blood from the back fence of Morehouse College all the way up to the front door of Graves Hall, through the lobby and up the steps. He was bleeding badly. We had to go down the hall and get Frank, because Frank was older than Mark. Mark was a freshman. Frank was a sophomore. And we stopped the bleeding, and Frank put some heavy band-aids on it and hooked him up. And we never told the cops. Did we break the law? Were we accessories after the fact? Pretty much.
Technically, yeah,
Yeah,
at the
pretty
time.
much. Especially the fact that we cleaned up the scene of the crime.
Yeah.
And yeah, we were all accessories. And we all swore, we all got into, and it's funny, it's college. We all literally got into a pack and put our hands in the middle.
Blood brothers.
Blood brothers. And said, we swear we will never speak of this. Come on, 40 years isn't enough to the promise wears off. Give me a break. True story. True story.
It's not like you can get in trouble for it now anyway.
And really, the funniest part is Mitch would not leave the dorm for like a month. He'd go to breakfast, he'd go to dinner, he'd go to class, and he would go out the fire exit to go to Spelman, but he would never go out the back entrance. He'd never go out the front entrance. He never went to the back side of the campus. He was scared to death, as I was my freshman year. I was eluding a pimp, which is a whole nother story. And I got time, so I'm going to tell it. I ain't got nothing to do. I was a freshman, and the freshmen get there about 2 weeks before school starts. And as I found out, that was the hazing period. And it was just obnoxious as hell, where they were waking us up at 3 o'clock in the morning with fire extinguishers in our bed. They were putting itching powder in our bed. They would have like what they called air raids, where we had to all get up in the middle of the night and line up outside. I'm like, what is this, a fraternity? And Pop had left me like $200, which was way too much money for a freshman. And hotels back in those days, literally the Marriott was like $35 a night. So I said, screw this. Screw this. I got in the cab and I went downtown. I spent 3 or 4 nights downtown and just kicked it in 8 room service and walked around downtown Atlanta. It's like, I'm not going to be treated like this. And I was resented. The guys on the floor did not like me for like a week or two before school started. I was the rich California kid, the Lord Fauntleroy, who had enough money to go stay in a hotel. I was like, so that's right. And I met this tall black woman who literally came up to me and put her knee in my crotch. I'm 18 years old, and I gave her my room number. She said, do you want a date? I said, sure. And I gave her my room number, and I got halfway back to my hotel, and I was like, what have I done? I am not losing my virginity to a prostitute. What the hell have I done? I get up to my room, and I'm like, she's not going to come. She's not going to come. And I'm like sitting there, and all of a sudden, I can hear her heels coming down the hallway. And I'm like, oh, God, I pray that's not her. And I'm like, oh, and I'm, you know how the bathroom was right off the front door? I'm hiding. I'm literally kneeling in the bathroom. It's 65 degrees in the hotel room, and I'm sweating. And she's like, you better open this door because you paid for my time. I don't care if nothing happens, but you paid for my time, and I'm here, and you owe me some money. Okay. Don't make me go get Leroy. All right. Okay. You played the game. I'm going to go get Leroy. And I waited. I heard the clop, clop, clop. I heard the bell of the elevator. I heard the elevator close. I grabbed my backpack. I ran out the back exit. I set off the fire alarm. I jumped the fence. I went to the next hotel. I called a cab. I got to Morehouse College. And I literally got to Morehouse and I kissed the ground. And I said, I'm never going downtown ever again. And for like half the semester, I was looking over my shoulder for Leroy, the killer pimp, who was going to come to me and get his money. It's a true story. I was a knucklehead of all knuckleheads. Leroy, the killer pimp, is looking for Ralph Bailey. For all of us at American General Media, have a wonderful Good Friday and a beautiful Easter. We'll see you Monday.
This is AM 1180 KERN, Green Acres. This is 96.1 FM. Bakersfield.
Whenever you're ready.
Hey, next week, can you just cut out maybe 15 seconds of Monsignor and throw it in one of the updates, one of the promos? That'd be good to run for a while. Because he is beloved. Absolutely beloved. Ready? 3, 2. Again, I want to thank Craig Harrison, who will always be Monsignor Craig Harrison to me. And his talk about suffering was spot on. That we're not teaching our children well enough that they are going to suffer. They are going to fail. But successful people get beyond that. And they don't allow their suffering to overcome them. It's part of life. You hear me say all the time, life sucks, and then there are blips. Enjoy the blips. Enjoy the family. Enjoy love. But understand, life is difficult. 3, 2. It's that man again. Look what's coming up at our post-Easter show on Monday. Well, Dr. Jeet Singh will be here along with Kathy Abernathy, and we'll start to preview the Masters. That's coming up April 9th. All that and me at 3. It's TRBS, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. Have a happy Easter.
More on these stories at townhall.com.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. We're proud to offer high-quality, rechargeable hearing aids starting at just $98. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and hear the difference today by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Veterans and active duty service members, when your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner. VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news